Okay, so today I'll take a little break from my what was it, the mic-based horror games, like the horror games that listen to your mic. I was intrigued by that genre because I just did like a single episode of one of them for Halloween, right? But then I was in the mood, so I mean, I guess I just did the second episode yesterday. But that will be a mini series that I keep trying to do, depending on how many of those there are. So I'll try to make them all permadeath. So I'll play each one until I either beat it or until I die once, and then move on to the next one. And even I'm intrigued by other games like that too, that just have like some sort of mic, like where they listen to you and they sort of make that a mechanic in the game, which seems kind of weird, but some of them use it actually pretty well. And it goes into my whole spirit of being whatever, the quiet gamer, so it shouldn't be a liability because I'm not going to scream and I'm so desensitized or whatever. You know, like how they're doing all these chest lie detector tests. I almost have to do one like a fear test or like try to scare me or try to see like what I would be scared or perturbed by that other people wouldn't, that other people would be, and it just doesn't affect me as much. I was on an okay streak, and then the site actually did crash last time, which kind of pissed me off. That would have been like on Thursday, or wait a second, Friday, Thursday, Friday. No, it would have been on Wednesday that I did test last, the 30th, and so I go in and then I don't even remember, but I go in and I try to play a game and then it just the site's crashing, and so it counts as a loss, and presumably it counted as a loss for both of us. In fact, yeah, this will be one of the weirdest things ever. We found like a glitch in the system. Watch. What? No, but that's not fair. I was going to say it should be a loss for both of us because the site crashed, but somehow he got the win and I am counting as leaving. I was going to show like how could both of us lose the game because we both left because we both had the site crash. That's so fucking bullshit. So I legitimately lost that. I changed the art and stuff in recognition of that too, but whatever. So yeah, maybe the reason why I'm not doing that little mini series is because I'm too scared to play it at night, which is maybe partially even true. Again, not that I even really get scared by anything, but I was even complaining about the glare in the daytime, like where I can barely see because these games are so dark, horror games, right? So the sun in the background is kind of punishing you for the fact that you're trying to play a dark game in the day. So it would almost be more suited for now, but whatever. That's one mini series I have going on. I don't really have like a fixed schedule as far as categories right now. And so basically that's all I was doing. The first week after the PVZ thing came to an end, I was just playing only chess. And now I've been wanting to do, this little mini series. And so I said, I'll do that, like the mic-based horror games, and I'll use that to segue into the itch.io Gauntlet, because that site has a lot of cool kind of free, fun indie games that are sort of obscure and I haven't played, but that might be worth doing. And I can do them all in a permadeath context as well. So play each one, the most popular, best ones until I die, and then when I die, I can play, move on to the next one. And beyond that, we also have the ability to maybe look for other mic-based games. I don't know. I'm just using that as like a gimmick because I kind of like that genre idea. And this makes me seem like such a Diablo fan. The fact that it's my channel art, and it's the fact that and now I'm using it as the art for this fucking Diablo Immortal. And the whole reality with that is the simple fact that it's sort of a long-standing symbol of my objectivity, that it was never a game series that I ever played. And so I almost made it as a joke. That's kind of what the art is. Let me look at this here. Right. The whole joke with it isn't that, I'm a fan of Diablo. I had never played the Diablo games ever, right? This was up to like 2016, right, on my old channel. So it's like, I never played the Diablo series, even though I was a huge Blizzard fan. So I loved Warcraft 3. I loved WoW, obviously. I liked some of their other things that they did over time. And so the point is that I'm a huge Blizzard fan, but I never played Diablo games because I never liked that genre and I sort of dismissed it. And so it's like I go from being a hater to making a point to try it just because I avoided it all those years. And so I have all these trappings and criticisms of the genre. And so I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but there's a lot of depth to it. So it's not even that I like the series or that I played the series very much. I played it really only at a surface level. Like I played part 1 twice, in the permadeath content, or wait, is it thrice now? I can't remember. Did I do it twice on here? I think I've only done it twice total. So I played the first game twice, first playthrough permadeath. I've never played part 2. I played part 3 very briefly. I played part 4 once, like on this channel. I played Path of Exile once. I played Lost Ark once. So I've sort of just scratched the surface with them. But it's to show my objectivity in the sense that there was a better way of explaining it, I guess, that I had. Like, because I generally avoided it and didn't like it, right, at least the genre, I made a point to make that my art to sort of celebrate the fact I was going out of my way to play it because it had been something I had avoided. And so I thought it would be good to play into that. And so, it's like he wants me to be even quieter because I'm the quiet gamer. And so obviously it's the whole permadeath joke. No, this is how many lives you have, as in he's showing you the number 1. And the other joke is the fact that, what else is it? Like, the fact that I always play as mages is a part of it. The fact that this is how many lives you have because I always do permadeath runs. Also the fact that, you're just a quiet gamer, so you're already quiet, but whatever. So let's see here. We got the little art thing where we level up, which is an interesting thing. I already changed what we have here. Money icon. That shouldn't be on a chess site, though, because nobody makes money from playing chess. Yeah, let's try to get back to 1700, which certainly I won't be able to do here because I'm already like half asleep. But I mean, I can win every game and I won't do it, is my point. No, this almost makes me want to play a Diablo game, not just looking at the fucking art. Or, I mean, but all those clips people get mad at too. Like, I had a couple clips from my thing, from my, whatever, each of those playthroughs, and it's like, I'm not able to actually do it because, like, it makes it seem like, oh, I'm a hater. And that was almost something I was called before, or something I had a pseudo reputation for. But the reality is that it's something very different. And the reason why it's different is because I can still respect something or give it a chance, but not necessarily like everything about it, or I can still have my fair criticism. So it's the difference of, like, you don't have to like everything about it, or the sort of quantity over quality with enemy types and something else is what makes it so bad. I would still take, like, you have a quantity over quality in terms of enemy types and everything like that. And the reason why that's so pertinent is because it just shows you that's inherent to the genre, right? It's always quantity over quality in itemization and in enemies and in kind of everything. And it's partly to do with the camera perspective, because it has like an RTS game's camera perspective, which indicates an emphasis on the idea that you have multiple units that you're controlling, but in this case you're only controlling one. So it's kind of a one-sided interpretation in which you're able to realize that you're able to it's a one-sided interpretation, and the reason why you're able to do it is because how did he win a pawn in doing that? I don't even get it. It's a one-sided interpretation because, oh yeah, it's like an RTS game, but where you only control a single unit, so the perspective isn't justified because you're not controlling a whole army on the map. So therefore, being so zoomed out in that bird's eye type of view is not justified at all. We had something cute, potentially here, but it just didn't happen. So that makes this kind of pointless, because what did that even do? It always seems like you have something better than what you do, or I'm too lazy to actually think through it. I just kind of go for something easy or simple or safe or something. So you go here either way, because you take with the king, I give a check. If you take with the queen, I can do that. So I'm -1 somehow, and I don't even know how that happened. So with these kind of positions I create so often, and they're so simple because of the fact that no, actually looking at this makes me have an urge to not only play one of these type of games, but even specifically Immortal, even though you know what I haven't done actually? I always do first playthrough permadeath, but then I haven't on this channel really done a second attempt at a first playthrough permadeath, like one that I failed. So that is one that I failed because I went AFK. I kind of wanted to save those for its like own category where you're able to consider that you're able to basically consider that like people would vote on a poll, like which one should I get a second chance at a first playthrough or something like that. And so the reasoning is that I have generally tried to avoid doing that so far, but I guess I could. So I can still call it a first playthrough permadeath even though I played it before. That one I actually lost to AFK, and that's one of those always online trappings that's such bullshit. Like, the game is always online, even though I'm playing it like a single player solo game, and it's a mobile game, but I'm playing it on PC. But so I go AFK for a minute. I don't want to keep. You could say, "Oh, just log out," but I have to go AFK, every once in a while. So sometimes for short periods of time, like 30 seconds here and there. So I don't want to have to quit out of the game every single time. And of course, you can't pause it. So I'm like, okay, I'll be gone for like a minute or something. And so I stand by a place that seems completely safe. Honestly, I'll stand by it too. It looked so safe and everything was fine. And it somehow fucked up because then, like, I love the way that happened. I should show that clip. Like, I'm standing by the side of somewhere and it looks generally safe. Everything's fine. And then these enemies randomly crawl up the side of the fucking wall and come up and attack me. Like, what the fuck is that? It was the most bizarre thing ever. That there was no expectation that that should happen. This is a drawn position. I don't think the one pawn for him is going to make any meaningful difference that he would actually win because of it. Certainly, I don't see why or how I would win. But I should almost target this side, because if he's going to overcommit and clump up, I can sort of share the love with these two. Keeping the rook here means that you can't do anything, right? He can do literally nothing. If I was to go here, if he took, I took. I don't know. This could be more dangerous because it's like, you can't really stop me from coming in there. The act of me coming in there is not going to be a big deal. If you keep going, I guess that sort of stopped me. What the fuck? I'm just trying to see like what his plan really is. If he moves the king too far, I don't know. These kind of positions are draws, and you know they're draws, so you shouldn't even try to do anything, but I somehow knew that was going to happen, but I still let it happen. This guy is not played that many games. He's got his little double stack, which impedes him a little bit. Like, pretend he's up the same pawn, but it wasn't double stacked. That might be the difference in the game right there. So I can't do anything about this side, which is really stupid because I didn't realize that this would actually be the case. I somehow thought I'd be able to get through that. I can adequately cover whatever he's going to do ever. Like, it's not even a concern to me. Her eyes look sort of so derpy. Yeah, I was criticizing here the 3 big flaws of the Diablo series. Quantity over quality in enemies and items and other things like fucking fairly objective flaws, actually, I'd say. You can't really go there, you can't really go there. So even attacking this one isn't going to work. I would take, they would take, I would still take. It almost really makes you want to do that. So you would take, I would take, and you can't take, and I would even have the ability to try to take here. You go there, I can simply take. If you take there, I can take. You can check, I can still take. The one thing I sort of cut short was the Throwback Thursday aspect with respect to the simple fact that you're able to I don't know what would happen if I actually trade this now. But apparently he doesn't want to do it even. Like, what if I can't even remember what I'm saying. I hate doing this show when I'm so tired, but some days I just have no choice. It would always happen on Sunday. It would always happen with Hearthstone, where it would be sort of, it wouldn't even be that late sometimes, but I would always be so tired anyway. Fuck, I was trying to be all cute, like, with this stupid ass shit. Like, oh, if he took that, like, how does he know, man? How is he so good? Like, he can just do that. That he would really think about that and wouldn't just think, oh no, I blundered a pawn. Like, if 1600 couldn't really blunder a pawn. Now, it's not always as easy to do this as what you think, and certainly you're going to have to address mine. So the reality is that it'd still be a fairly drawable, repetitious thing. You have a pass pawn here, you have a pass pawn there. But technically, even though they're up 1 pawn, I have 1 more pass pawn than they do, but it wouldn't be hard to really change that. In fact, they would have 2, well, they can't do it now, but I can start pushing that one, so he's going to have to focus on here. Even if you try to do this, it's not necessarily going to work. Oh, man. He's down to 3 minutes. I kind of like the way this guy played, though. He was sort of just very solid, like kind of like me. Focus too much on what moves you can't, what you want them to do compared to what moves they can do. That is true. I always do like wishful thinking calculation. I'm always just like looking for something more than what there actually is, too. Like, you know, you should expect that you can do something special or whatever, but it's just not how it works. Because again, if it was that simple, then they should be able to see whatever I'm seeing, or it's got to be something way above and beyond. That's something I don't get even as a better player. Like, even if I'm a grandmaster, right? Well, now he's going to fuck me with this. It's probably still worth it or necessary, but even if I'm a grandmaster, it's like, oh, look at Bobby Fischer doing this 50 move sequence, you know, crazy thing. It's like, but he's playing against other grandmasters, so you would think even as good as he is, a lot of that stuff still shouldn't really work, and it doesn't, because that's why you get so many draws. So in a weird way, that still isn't even how the game works. Right, the majority of things, there's nothing you can do, nothing ever works. That's just how chess is. There's absolutely nothing you can do ever. And it's just boring and stale and repetitive and equalizes everything out. Like, that's literally just how it works. Okay, this should not have been a loss, but now it's looking like it very well might be, so I don't know what to tell you. Black just went. Well, how much you want to bet, though? See, in theory, yes, they do, but you don't. You overestimate 1600 rated clown players, such as myself. But no, there's no reason why this should have been actually bad at all. His rook's position is actually quite good here. God damn it. I would have almost tried to race him with this, but it's just not good enough. I almost could have started doing that earlier and it might have thrown him off because the positioning was so much better. I had 2 passed pawns despite the fact that he was plus 1 pawn, like before a lot of that happened. That's still only being single attacked, so it almost isn't the issue. There's just no check or anything I can do. Couldn't you go like here in kind of a weird move? Because no, I mean, I could take with the king, but I mean, I couldn't take with that. This might actually be cute. They would take, I would take. What? Alright, you want to be all fucking cheeky about it. Like, you didn't need to do that at all, bro. Like, fucking stupid. None of this would be happening if I didn't get that disconnect loss, or at least I would have been 1 set ahead because I wouldn't have had to change. Clearly, that would have been my lucky set. Which one was that? That was my lucky set recently. It was like the, it was a weird one that I wouldn't have thought would be. It was like the minimalistic one with like the little, I can't remember what it's called. If Black draws, he needs to resign permanently. 3 connected pass pawns. Black did what I would have done. No reason to overcomplicate when you have 2 extra pawns. Yeah, I just sort of felt a little bit ostentatious. But yeah, that was a very even kind of drawing game, so I don't know why I let it get. You know, those are the kind of games I don't like because nothing really happened. Like, do I really feel like, wow, he's so good and he really beat me? It feels like I just got lazy somewhere along the line in the middle, and that could have easily been a draw 10 times out of 10 for me. It's not really an excuse. It's just more like I don't find that super instructive. It's not like he did something really above and beyond that I didn't understand. It was very basic. Like if we actually look at it, or you know what it actually is sort of me probably forcing something in such a way that, you know, I won't. I'm just trying to trade stuff off or do something more than what I have to do just to expedite it. I think I even said something to that effect. So that was chess cube and the chess classic, and we get these weird bishops in here too. Chrome theme. Clean and Hanson. Okay, let's go with this one. Let me actually look at this because I love how I inadvertently do an ad for some boosting fucking dog shit just because it shows the chat and just because I don't know what this clip even was meant to be for. Let's see what we have. Just kind of irritating though. Like we play it normal, solid, so what happens? There's some like little uncomfortable structure that I probably get into that's just not, you know, super, yeah, like whatever this is, right? Like there's no need for me to do any of this. I'm trying to be cute by like doing this exchange and let him take. It's fine, although apparently I like lose a pawn because of it, which I didn't understand that I would. I thought it would be even. Yeah, see, like, I'm trying to be all too cute with all this stuff. None of this is necessary. So that's a blunder. I thought about doing that too for some reason, like, oh, I'm going to attack the king, but I didn't think it would be very strong. Again, my desire to trade. Even with all that, it's still relatively even. In fact, even this could very well be a draw, even though they have a slight advantage. It's not enough. Deserve to lose. You played BC against BC4 against C5. Let's see what that is even. I'm not good with notation, so I won't even know exactly what that is. Bishop c4 against oh, well, I always do that. I've beaten 2,000 rated players playing like that. What is so bad about that? c4. Yeah, see, this is like an opening theory moment. Like, it doesn't really matter, though. I can appreciate that maybe it's not the right thing to do, but there is nothing, it doesn't matter. Like, it's the same principle that I always follow. I like when people say stuff like that because it's not wrong, but it has nothing to do with the low rated play that we're looking at. Like, that would have had no impact on the game. And in fact, it did have no impact on the game. Even now, right? This is a draw 100 times for me. What is he really going to do? Whatever you're going to have to do here is going to be way too complicated in order to... Right, like I still don't feel bad about it. You go there, so I'm doing everything right. It's still a draw, objectively a draw. Right, the +1 isn't enough. So that's a blunder. Whoops, I misclicked that. Wait, what are you supposed to do then? They would take, I would take, they can't take. That would have been fine to just leave it there. So what am I doing? Just to go down. See, this is where it gets like unintuitive. Like, what is it? What was that move? Just like do nothing and just move it down and now move it here. And now I can understand trying to, like, why are you going down like that? Why not just, okay, I just go here then. Why is that substantially worse than this? I don't get it. They go here, I take, they take. They're still not necessarily going to win. Actually, they probably will now. But no, I mean, that bro is literally me in most of my wins because it's just so simple. Like, you're not really even doing anything. You know, the one move I was trying to hang my hat on was this cute little thing. When did it happen? It probably happens later because I really thought he would fall for that. Look at what I do here. Look. Even the engine's telling me. You go behind. It's like, oh no, I blundered my pawn. And then you fucking do this shit, dude. Like, why are you so good that you're not going to fall for that? Not that you'd have to be that good. You let the black open the position and get in the back rank. It was better to simply waste a turn and avoid it. But no, he was actually a good player in a sense that I often don't say that about people here. Where there was just something you could sense about him. Even when it was seeming like a draw, I even said, I like the way this guy is playing, or something about it just felt very simple and just, I don't know. Like, let me not do some weird thing like with the pawn where I'm trying to take his knight and do some exchange like that. Right, I can just go for something simple and comfortable. I do enjoy that whole thing though, because I don't know openings really at all, and I've never made an effort to do it. I managed to do so much without needing to worry about that. Like, it's really not as important as what people think. It becomes an equalizing factor, obviously, where eventually you just have to do it, but it's not quite the way that people make it out to be. Fair enough. Like, that is almost like my life's challenge. I want to become a grandmaster without learning openings, or I want to become like, how high can you get? But the problem is, yeah, see, like, here we go, bro. Like, I know it, but it doesn't, bro. Now, there's some mixed sequence. Like, either you can go here and just accept your fate, or you can go here, but then it doesn't work now. There's some situations where you do that. And I say this like I actually know what I'm talking about, but you're going to lose one anyway, so you may as well get the pawn forward, even though the knight is a shitty piece. And so I would have rather given that up, but I guess that's probably the correct thing to do. But no, it's both more and less impactful than people want to acknowledge, because people will say, well, you know, there's a correct way to play it, yes, but it doesn't matter because people don't know really what they're doing or how to play the structure, or so in that sense it's not going to matter now. But it does matter in the sense that that alone could decide the game if somebody does know it and you don't. So unfortunately, that level of impact is kind of stupid, right? Like if I play a GM, I could lose in the opening. Not that I'm going to get mated in the opening, but that effectively the position would be so would be so one-sided. So I would never vouch for that, because it's the sort of thing that eventually you just want to get it over with and be like, okay, I just want to get past it and equalize it. I would say you applied the correct knowledge at the wrong time. I mean, this is kind of regardless, like whatever. Because yeah, that would be my alternative. So then, but then my thought is they go here, which I guess you could do the same thing then. Yeah, I hate stuff like that because he's trying to be all cute. Like what 1600 provisional guy really is playing like that? Moves like that just sort of piss me off, because yes, it's the best move, but it's just dumb. Why do you have to do this cheeky kind of I'm sacking, forking? It's still even. It didn't do anything, but there's too many moves like that, especially in openings where they are like just sort of flashy, like, oh, look at me, I'm sacking 3 pieces, and then it ends up being even. It's just like you're just being cute about it, and it's not really doing anything. Okay, so we have that pinned down. They can easily save it, but I don't really care. I'm just doing that to save the stupid knight. Since you already played it, I might as well tell you, going b4 would have been better than taking the pawn. Going b4. b4. Yeah, I don't really see why, though. So they would take, they're threatening the other knight as well, which this whole sequence would make me very uncomfortable. And as far as I'm concerned, see, like, let's see the GM, where does this knight go when you're a grandmaster player? I don't fucking know. So I would feel so uncomfortable with that position. You probably just put the queen there and do, but it wouldn't even work because now that's there. It would create a very confusing position for me. So I don't know. I would take, they would take, I could easily take. That's actually good. Because now you're threatening something else too that you could unleash in such a way that you have no choice but to worry about that. Then you have to let me do the trade. E4, not E5. If they take your knight, you take their knight with check. Double their pawns, and you take E5. I guess since I'm up on time, I don't mind doing this. So the fork happens. Okay, you go here. They take my knight. I take, they double. Okay, and then I take here. Which even that, see, I'm not inclined to do that, because then it leads to some dumb sequence that maybe I'm had bad experiences with, where now it gets pinned and then you end up losing it anyway, or I don't know exactly how to. I like that actually too. I have this mindset. Oh, he fucked up. I have this mindset of like, wait, what happened to my other? Oh wait, what? Oh no, I'm looking at it wrong. Seems awkward. I have this thing like I have these bad associations with the position. So like, even if I know, I get that sense a lot. Like I know that, oh, this would be better, certain things than what I do, but I don't know exactly how to play it. So then I feel like, that becomes the entire difference. So if I don't feel comfortable with it, it's not a question of whether it's good or not. It's a question of whether I know how to play it or whether it'll mess me up later or something like that. So there is some inclination with that. I have some like negative stigma, like, oh, I've played that before, or I'll get stuck with that. And so something bad will happen. That's actually a terrible idea, because I should have just, I'm very trade happy all the time. I don't even have this developed, so this could fuck me up. Yeah, all you want to do is make sure that you have comfortable positions that you like, because that's more important sometimes than what is objectively best, because you're not going to know all the time what is objectively best. This actually is kind of cute because you can't do anything. Although maybe you can. Yeah, there's a lot of lines and things, not just in even in openings, but there's a lot of things that assume other other understanding and other lines. Like if you don't do it, then if you don't know how to play the full line out and the full sequence and the full structure, then you wouldn't be able to actually. I feel like the bishop is much better here than the knight, but he's putting a little amount of pressure that's kind of irritating me. So there's nothing really that I need to do because this could be the anchor pawn. So like the position is completely secure aside from that would be a problem. Fuck. My fault, I didn't recognize you messed up wording entirely. You take the pawn on e4 first, and the knight's pinned, then you double take. The pawns are doubled anyway, okay. Let's see, this is a little bit dumb. If I let him take there, it's bad, and I'll have, if I go here, he'll take there. Then I'm going to be lazy and do this, which is not really very logical, because I don't know why I even did that. You'll see once you're in analysis. Either way, it's probably even from that position. The problem is they'll be able to take like multiple things now, and I don't know what I'm even doing. This is like one of those nonsense moments. Like the best move here is probably honestly very hard to figure out. Like, okay, I could go there with the knight, something stupid like that. I don't care. I just let him take 2 pawns for literally no reason because I'm just lazy and I just want to trade. Now this should at least be good because yes, you'll get a third one, but I should get something out of it. We'll probably try to save this, in which case you can attack the other side or something. Go here, I can threaten there. They'll take, they'll have a lot of dominance on that side with the pawns. That wasn't what I was expecting them to do, actually. Oh, this is like a self bait. That's good because, oh, if they end on, then I can take, but it'll actually be covering that. So this is past pawn already. You give a check here. What I need to do is I need to attack at least one thing over on the other side. Burnt pan there, burnt pan here. Okay, that's fine. Even here, it's the same thing that if we get to, if he takes my pawn, I can take his pawn. If you don't get it, I'm saying you're cooked. Okay, I'm fine with that. Okay, that's also fine. We got to get the king involved. So it's a difference really of only 1 pawn. Now the question is, do I go after his rather than trying to protect mine? Which probably makes more sense because he has two connected pass pawns. And I have to kind of make up my mind here. They would take, I would take. So they have one pawn here then that probably would be, okay, fine. Really this side that I should be worried about. Whatever I do here is not going to be of much consequence. I just get in sort of these stale, repetitive positions so often that let's just do it. Fuck it. Could take there and cover that, which is irritating. What the fuck? Never mind. But now see, he can't leave it, so this is what I don't get. And what you could almost do is just spam. Well, that'll just help him get closer to it. Whatever I'm doing here is not really gonna matter. I mean, in principle, I would take it, but I don't really even deserve it. You could block that if you really want to. I want to hit this, but I can't because of the stupid ass thing. What is white doing? Good question. Even now, oh, okay. I was gonna say, even that wasn't really a mistake, but he's only +4. But the problem is that he's got another pawn too close and waiting. This could still be doable in some vague way that you'd be able to, just have to not get checked in such a way that he can take the rook. Okay, he's gonna do that. I'm gonna have to let him have that, which is irritating. And okay, whatever, dude, whatever. Covering this, hitting this, you can't move this, so it's not actually that bad. I mean, the difference of the queen is significant, but if I don't just blunder something outright, I should be fine. I'm not gonna take it, even though I probably should, because of course that doesn't count as a loss for my purposes. Even that would be kind of detrimental because I wouldn't want to allow them to sack for it either. If white was smart, he would just take the rook, but you never know. Yeah, I can understand the fear of doing that. He seems like he's trolling somehow, but I don't know exactly why. Hmm. Yeah, if he wanted to draw so badly, he could have tried to do it that way in terms of just do a threefold repetition. You could try to have double attacked this, which would be significant. That would actually almost work. If this one wasn't there, you could go for this. He wouldn't be able to stop it. And then... Okay, that's a mistake. Okay, but not for him. It's so phony, dude, because both of these games are kind of the same thing. I like how my style of play, though, reveals that more than even... That's something I've always done. Like, even when I was, like, a kid, I would always play like that. Where I sort of reveal how stale the game actually is. I didn't know how many draws the game led to, like, plus 50% of draws, but I would always play in a way like you could just get to the end game even against a better player, or it didn't matter. And it's like it's always the same thing. It's just a stale, repetitive. He offered me a draw, I could have gotten a draw. Like, it's just irritating the way that is such a part of it. Like, again, is it something in the opening? Is it something, totally meaningless? None of this matters. Like, I'll tell you the move that matters too, and I probably said it as I was doing it. It's the move in which I decide to here, or not even here. It's the move where I decide to do that, probably. Right. There's no reason to do it. It's just dumb. Although this pawn structure is kind of... Maybe the king should have been brought out earlier so he couldn't come into there. Even now it's okay. I don't... No, I'm just sort of fiending for trades too much. Yeah, doing that was not the greatest idea. So again, it's totally unforced. It's nothing that he's doing. It's something that I'm doing, that I have a certain preference, which generally serves me pretty well, but you can't force it. Like, I'm being too lazy about it right now. Wait, no, I was white. Both the same thing. Well, not exactly like that, but I mean, it's the same principle behind it. That, like, I'm sort of unforced. Whatever is happening, I'm just doing to myself because I'm trying to play in such a way that, I am very trade happy, which is good. I mean, I always like playing that way, but... Okay, I guess this won't count for the permadeath piece set and stuff since it's an unranked game. Oh, whoops, I misclicked. I wonder who's the best Vietnamese chess player of all time. I always look stuff like that up, and then that's how I discovered shogi. I didn't even know what shogi was until a couple years ago. And I'm like, why aren't there, like, who's the best Japanese chess player? Hikaru, lol, but I mean, like, somebody who actually lives in Japan. So it's like, I couldn't find anybody, and it's like, how come they don't have grandmasters or great players? And oh, it's because they don't play chess, they play shogi instead, largely. And so it's a case where, best Vietnam chess players. I'm sure I've heard these people's names before, but I just don't know offhand. Lei Quang Liam. And he's really good at speed chess. Hikaru. The shogi is probably the easiest site to use. What did I use, actually? I can't remember. Because yeah, Lashogi was sort of limited in player base. I used something else that had way more players on it, although was kind of maybe harshly competitive and even more beginner unfriendly than chess. Yeah, but that's just how shogi is. I can't remember the name of it. Le Droughts for checkers and stuff. Yeah, I do like how there's Le Chess, like whatever alternate Le Chess sites or stuff like that. But the problem with them sometimes is again the lack of a. There's sometimes a lack of a player base on those compared to sites that are more dedicated to just that thing. We could do something maybe cute with this if you just come on. Sometimes they just want to be annoying about it, like, you know, I could have gone there, then they'll just do that. They would take, I would take, they would take. I don't know. I just somehow feel like this is a good move. Yeah, either way. See, if you didn't take with that, then I can just take it for free. Or yeah, I could have taken that for free. And now even by not doing that, now I can take this. So that was good no matter which way you look at it. I have tunnel vision. Sometimes I do. You want a 1v1 in Phrygian Droughts. I don't even know what that is. Now they get this, which wouldn't really make a whole lot of difference. They go here, they go here. Yeah, I do sort of tunnel vision on like one thing. Like, oh, this looks like a cute idea. This looks like it's something. And then it sometimes backfires, but that worked out pretty well, I guess. Phrygian Droughts is basically just better checkers. Interesting. Trust. Also, if you go back to move 16, you can probably see what I mean. I'm sure there's a number of moves that would display my tunnel vision tendency. But no, yeah, I'll fixate on one idea that oh yeah. I didn't I mouse over that too. I literally did it. You can go back and look. I moused over it, I'm like, oh, you know. But I wanted to do something cute with whatever I already had decided on doing. They would take, I would take, they would still take. Yeah, that definitely is a problem. I love that. It's not even that, oh, whether I see it. I saw it when I was doing it, but I didn't somehow I was more fixated on something else. It's hard to explain. Like, this is how I am. No, I want to do my exact cute little thing that I'm going for because this isn't good enough otherwise. Or you know what it sometimes is too? It's like, oh, you don't expect that they would make a mistake, so they're too good. Or like, you know, you wouldn't expect that they'd ever make a mistake, so then when they do, you don't see it. Or you don't even look for it. Which that, to be fair, happens even at the highest levels with respect to, you know, oh, a grandmaster blunders a piece and the other one just immediately doesn't even see it and doesn't even process it sometimes. Rarely, but I mean, it's rare that it even happens. But they'll miss it actually because they're like, oh, I would have never expected them to actually do that. So why would I even think about it for a millisecond? We can trade the queens. This was a pretty easy game. I mean, I guess they are 1300. So we have this. Probably a lot of things I can do. You're never gonna get a game like this that is so. You're actually getting forked by that shit. You're never gonna get a game here that is so lopsided like this, though, right? Where you're +9 and all this kind of crazy stuff. It just doesn't happen. And so I could just mate with the king and the rook, which I almost kind of forget how to. Oh shit! I almost forget how to even do it, but you know, I'm not doing this for BM. But technically, you wouldn't need to do it any other way. Don't get some sort of stupid, nasty stalemate. His pawn certainly is getting in the way. Let's see. Just give random checks and eventually it'll be made, is sometimes my philosophy. Bro. Come on, man. It is actually going to be stalemate. Like, you don't want to think too much about this. Like, it doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. Like, what do I do in a position where I'm +20? Like, it doesn't matter what you would do because you're never going to be +20. So who cares? He's going to do it again because you're going to have the fucking... Bro. How is it not mate, though? That's what I just don't get. Okay, we get our little jump scare moment of the board changing. I have a greed complex. Maybe at times. I know what you mean. You have a well. There's nothing on Google that says it. Literally just the most common word for this. The word for the broadest meaning is greedy. Yeah, you gotta play chess like it's Dark Souls in the sense that you can't greed on a oh, but you know what's gonna confuse me is the fact that I did lose the last game, so I do have to change my set, even though I won that one, because that doesn't count. So let me go with this last set here. Last picture and last set that we have on hand, at least. Which is going to be another one from Diablo. I really milked the shit out. I don't always play a Diablo game, but when I do, it's a mobile game, Diablo Immortal, and I literally post like 5 clips, I guess, from it based on this. Just shitting all over the genre and triggering everybody. Okay, that was the chess classic. What else do we have here? Wait, I've kind of lost where I was even at. Aces. Okay, classic clay board. Clean enhancement. Okay, that's good. Alright, so if I lose with this one, I'll just stop. Otherwise, we'll go all night and get to 1700. But I sort of don't like that precipitous downfall of it either. Like, where, you know, I'll get to a good point, like 1730 I was at, and then I suddenly fall down. Let's see, who's the best Egyptian chess player? I can't type. Wow, it actually still guessed it. Basim Amin. Never heard of him. Egyptian Grandmaster, 6-time African chess champion. He is also 3-time Arab chess champion, multiple African, blah, blah, blah. Bronze medals. Peak rating of 2,700 plus. Certainly not child liver. 1988, okay. I do like the amount of like chess lore and stuff I've researched over time, just out of whatever that ends up being more interesting than the game itself, because it's just fucking so repetitive sometimes. If you want to do that thing I was talking about, good to take a break. Okay, sure, yeah, we can look at it. I've never played that before. Let's see, I can't really click it the way I have it set up right now, but the droughts. Fuck. Q7G IT 8F. Okay, Phrygian pieces can also capture horizontally and vertically. Or wait, this isn't even me playing though. This is just me watching him. Or somebody else maybe hijacked the link. I don't even know what happened. Let me see how this works. Okay, international droughts. Yeah, let's just try to understand. Or of course, it's going to be a dead site. You can play against a bot, play with the computer, just to kind of see how it works, I guess. AI level 1. So, let me... see, what is this? You take... What the fuck? Okay, that's the thing I don't like sometimes about checkers. You'll go all the way across the board and shit. And when you get on the side like that, this is like the rope-a-dope equivalent. Like, we're fucking boxers. You're literally rope-a-doping because I can't do anything. Right, like that's so unfair. So he just sits there the whole game, and towards the end of the game, that can become really annoying, and I forget exactly how that really works. But no, I did play checkers for like basically the first time, like last year. And I can't remember what side that was on, but again, I would love these Lishogi and other type of sites if they were more active, but unfortunately, they're just not. I don't mind these one-for-one type of trades, but there is, see now, does that mean he can go all the way here? I forget exactly how that, well, you should just deny him the trade altogether. What you can do now, see, you shouldn't be able to do it now. You should not be able to do it now, but it doesn't matter because you just, I don't know what the fuck is happening. I mean, this is an AI level 1, so it really shouldn't make much of a difference. Yeah, somebody hijacked the link. At least I have his thing here, but how do I guess I could make an account here, or can I just sign in with my Lichess account? What you have to be careful of doing is, wait, but why didn't he even react to it? You can move backwards, you're doing all kind of crazy shit like that. That's the main mechanic of the game that's gonna make or break everything. You can take backwards, you're forced to. Or you can just host one like in the main lobby and I'll be able to join because since the site is so dead anyway, right, you won't even know the difference. Is that you? I'm going to assume it's you. But no, wait, he had a username though. Okay, let's see what's happening. Okay, he can't do anything with that as far as I can tell. But he's going to be loading up in such a way that's just going to be annoying. And so, okay, we'll do that. You take, I could still take. You take, I could still take. You could take, I could still take. That was in fact not you. How could that not be you? And it's such a dead site anyway. Okay, host it now. Well, I guess I'm wrong though. There are a certain number, but see, it says 300 games in play, but there's nobody even in the fucking lobby. Okay, it's my turn. They wait. Oh, I'm not completing the sequence of my move. Oh, it's my what is happening? Why would they leave that there? Oh, because I guess they're going to be guaranteed to take it later anyway. If you don't have an account, people with an account don't show up. Oh, really? Alright, let's beat up on this clown really quickly though. Or he's already gone. I just made a new account because I have no idea where my old one went off to. So if I create a game, does that let you join it then? Let's see. Yeah, I already made somebody rage quit out because I'm just too good for him. Who are these? Oh no, that is him. I was gonna say, who are these other people who are actually playing on this dead site? Alright, we take there. He's gonna be an expert in this, clearly. Does it even accurately keep track of the material? I guess it does. Of like the material advantage. You gotta sometimes slow pace, slow crawl your way up here. I'm not trying to do any crazy combos anyway. There'll be some sort of compelled take moment though, where they make you take and then they do something crazy. So you go here, they'll take, I'll still take. I don't really feel the need to do that yet. They go there, I take. They go there, I can't take. Slowly march everything up. Don't give them an opening of much length here. You know, like I could do this because they have no opening. Now they're going to do something that's going to force some opening. And my biggest pet peeve is this stupid ass shit of hugging around the side. I really don't like that. The contest between masters is decided instantly. As soon as we begin the battle, it'll already be over because our formation and everything is what's so important. So you can't move backwards, but you can capture backwards, I suppose. Like even this is kind of cute because you can't take, so then I can take, but you'll put something there. And so now, at some point, somebody's going to be forced to offer something up. That you can't really even still take, so that's fine. You go here, you take. I'm just trying to play, I guess, as defensively as possible and not take anything. Or not present the opportunity for anything. And so what you have is, it's gonna be like a compelled take moment. Now, do you get to jump the whole thing or do you go there? I go there. Wait, what? I don't get how that mechanic works. Why shouldn't that be a trade, like where you go there and then I go there? I mean, I get it. Like, that's how it works in checkers too, but if you can capture, you have to. Okay, he's up +3. You're gonna take there, then I'll take back here, I guess. Even if it means multiple turns in a row. So that would mean they have to take there. How? He just broke his own rule. If you can capture, you have to, but not with the king, I guess. What? You couldn't take. Oh, I guess that doesn't work the way. Oh, it's normal. . Yeah, as if I even am an expert enough to know the difference when I barely have ever played either one of them. They would take, and then I would take, they would take. They would take. What was that sound? Oh, that was me winning the other game. I'm trying to see what the game is even forcing me to do, which is, oh shit. Which is even good because that's what these automated sites will sort of do for you. They'll take there and I can't even take back. So you can take backwards, which is kind of relevant. Now, if this moved, you'd be able to take all in a line there. Kings are overpowered. Yeah. Okay, we deny him that. Another +6. You move it again. You go there. They can take. There's all kind of stupid stuff here. You go here. They can go there. You go here. They'll take. I'll take. But they might be able to go the whole distance. I don't know. No move really seems good here. Once we're done this match, I want to show you Frisian. It's 100% better. Well, I already lost that, so that's fine. I guess maybe we'll save the Diablo art for next time because now I'm going to be too tired. So yeah, you can host in the main lobby though, and it does actually work for this purpose. Maybe I can't do that though. Can I pick Frisian by chance? Let's see here. But I don't think it works for him being able to see mine. Yeah, how about a version in which you're not able to actually do the big jumps? Right, where you can only capture one thing at a time, but then that might get too boring. Okay, what is that? Okay, so none of that really matters. And so there's a take apparently that we can do. Oh yeah, this. And then you go here. Capture vertical and horizontal. If you wanted kids checkers, pick Russian or Brazilian, which I assume is going to have that limitation where you can't do that. Yeah, I'd rather play Dubotsu Shogi where it's like a little fucking 3x3 tic-tac-toe thing with like a super simplified version of Shogi. But no, if I'm actually play well, I won't need to worry about those big takes because they'll never even happen. This was okay. I'm never getting like a multi-take myself. This whole compelled take thing though is kind of dumb at times. I kind of don't like that in regular chess variants too, like when you have to take, so there's a lot of just trading and dumb stuff that goes on. Okay, dude, okay. So they're only +2. It's not that big of a deal. Go here, I take. If you go there, it's fine. You can't move like that normally. You can only capture like that. Right, you're still moving at the little one dinky diagonal space. And so now, okay. We're playing the greatest Frisbee and Droughts player in the world because nobody else plays it. I've never even heard of it before. On the same board as International Drought, same rules for moving the pieces. Okay. Fuck. Gotta take again. Okay, so they're +3, which isn't actually all that bad, but they're so good at this. Right, like clearly they know what they're doing to some extent. Okay, we recapture there. Everything's compulsory automatic. Why doesn't the game just play itself too? Okay, let's see. We'd have to do some big spring long combo to really make up for this. Let's see. I keep forgetting the multi-take aspect of it. Somehow they're making mistakes or that it's all part of their fucking. As soon as I say that, either it's a mistake or it's part of their plan or they're just trolling. Okay, I don't even fully understand how the fucking king works, but basically you can just do whatever it wants. Okay, I'm too tired, but that was kind of interesting. I'm always a big fan of variants. In fact, I never finished my permanent variant gauntlet on chess.com. Okay, see you tomorrow. Okay, so today I'll do what I used to do with classical games more so because they would take so long that it's like, you know, that would take a whole session sometimes on its own, regardless of whether I win or lose. But it was always a good way to stop yourself from going on a bad streak because, you know, the only way you play a lot of games is if you win. Otherwise, or draw, obviously, which is the majority of the time at any level. But people always say, oh, only at the high level. But basically, I never really like doing puzzles or anything either. It's just not as satisfying somehow. Or like in some way, if you do puzzles against other people, like Puzzle Rush Race, like, you know, the idea that you're still competing in some way makes it more fun, right? You got to flex your ego that you're beating up on some random clown who's probably like 10 years old. But yeah, I'll play until I lose a single game. So again, it creates the right mindset. And as a permadeath player, I always like that. Like, you know, either you win or if you're not, then you just stop instead of going on potentially a bad streak. So you can never lose 2 games in a row in one session, right? And those are some of my worst streaks. Even like when I got to 1730, right? Like how would you go on a streak of going from here to here? And like you're doing it in one day, you're just going on a bad streak, but then you're just playing just to play. And the bad incentive with that is like, yeah, see, it takes like 2 days to lose like 50 rating, which otherwise couldn't mathematically happen. It's because like, oh, I had some time that day, so I wanted to play more than I normally, you know, only have like an hour now today or something. So I want to try to take advantage of the amount of time that I have and play no matter what, regardless of result. But then that's how you go on a bad streak. So I made some really impressive comeback here though. From September 3rd, right, 1635, September 4th, 1670, September 5th, 1721. So literally in 2 days, I got 100 rating, which is pretty much unheard of in any, you know, when it's relative. Like, it's not as though I'm smurfing and I'm much better than that. 1727 is the highest I've been on here. So that was a very good dedicated streak to go on. That's kind of what I need again, but it's just kind of repetitive at this point. So I'll just play until I lose one, and then I have the other mini series that I'm doing. So I guess if it happens early, I could do that, where I'm doing like horror games that listen to your mic. Hey Basilisk, how's it going? So like, which ones did I do? I did Albedo, where you're like casting the spells for a certain period, you know, with your voice, and then the Silent Breath, where you're like in the forest running away from stuff. And then we have like Tonsil Terror and a couple other ones. So I'll use that as like a segue into the itchy.io gauntlet thing, where it's like a site that has a lot of free games. So I can do that where I play each one, and each one is permadeath and stuff like that. Yeah, let's go ahead and try to get on a good streak. I was playing kind of sloppy yesterday, where I'm just kind of letting stuff happen in ways that, again, the pace of the game seems to always be under my control, which is weird. So I'll always make like one move that says, even when I lose, like, oh, I'm just going to do this trade that I know probably isn't good, but I'll just do it anyway because I'm just lazy and I just want to get it over with. And then it ends up costing me. But, you know, you have to be a little more selective than what I am. I still like my style of play as far as trading so much, but wait, what is this? What the, why is that there? I don't know if it's not part of my background. It must be part of this piece set somehow. Okay, what happened here? I'm just wondering a piece because I'm so distracted by this cute little thing. Fucking, I already lost. Okay, they would take, I would take. God damn it. But yeah, we have a couple other free ones to do. Then I could do a couple maybe that I would have to buy. And then I could do a couple. I want to see like other genres that do that. It's such a weird concept, but I've been intrigued by it just because, again, I played one of them for Halloween just because, oh, I feel like playing a horror game. But then that gimmick was like, this is really a genre and this is really a thing that people do, where it's like horror games that, oh, if you scream, then the monster will hear you. So like it plays into the whole mic thing, which of course I'm not the type to do that anyway. But it's interesting when you're giving commentary and doing a stream, because now it's like, normally what would be the point of it? So it's obviously some sort of streamer bait type content game instead of an actual legitimate idea. Now this I could still do seemingly. And the reason why it's like that is because, you know, again, who's really sitting there in their room and just, I gotta do something wild now to try to recover. Who's sitting there in their room really screaming into their mic or talking into the mic when they're playing a game by themselves? So it's kind of weird, but I'm intrigued by it. No, but it seems like it would work pretty well with like a story game or a detective game sort of thing too. In terms of, you know, there's all kind of uses for that. Of course, the primary use that people would think, oh shit, good one. The primary use that people would think of is obviously, oh, that's really weird. Almost anywhere you go, it's gonna fuck up something, or you'll get forked or otherwise. Like multiplayer stuff, obviously that goes without saying. I kind of really dislike that though. Like, oh, if I'm gonna play Among Us and then you got to use voice chat, like I don't. It's almost something I should do with my whole debate background and stuff, but it's more like I would want to be the host of it and have a little more control over it format wise. Like I would play like the judge in the debates, and I'm less concerned about making the argument myself than I am about just making sure, you know, things are being done in a proper way, like, because otherwise it just devolves into something stupid where I genuinely don't know what this move should be. Yeah, it devolves into just lowest common denominator shit where people are just like that happened in Ace Attorney Online, right? People are just talking memes and making jokes and being dumb, right? But they're not really taking it seriously in terms of a case or something that you're trying to solve or portray. This you could do some sort of cheeky unleash, but the problem is there really is no unleash to do, and so they'll be double taking there, which I almost don't care about too much. This is a very bizarre structure. See, these positions can sometimes be more fun than what I normally do, but the problem is that obviously, you don't really want to play like this. It's just not safe and it's going to be weird. This Unleashed could be very strong. I just don't know exactly what to do with it. Now, this you'd be forced to take with the king, but oh no, yeah. And then as a result of doing that, you'll immediately be able to do this and take the knight because you won't have a choice. Which I don't know how good that really is for me. That might actually be bad. Well, I was already down like -2, so it might not make much of a difference, but I have no idea what's actually happening, I'll be honest. But yes, I recovered. We slowly chip our way back in one of the most epic sequences we've seen, where we win a pawn earlier, then we get one here. Like, what the fuck is going on? Okay. So you just gotta play discipline. Now it could easily be a draw, even though sometimes I try to harass a piece a little bit too much, where I get carried away, but really, there's no need to really go there. And this pawn structure is very fucking odd. Yeah, these backgrounds become so random because it's just whatever recent or like random clip or whatever I've uploaded on my channel over the last 2 years. So it's like, I guess it's almost 3 years now, but I didn't really use it the first year. So it's just another way to create like a permadeath condition, like where I have to go and change it every time, which is a little bit inconvenient to do. So it gives you a psychological punishment that, oh, now I have to go all the way back and scroll back through. That's one really dumb feature on YouTube. Like if you have like a million videos posted, there's no way to go like to the, like, I don't know, you can go to like maybe the last page, but there's no way to like choose the page you go to. You have to go manually one by one, as far as I've ever seen, at least. So for some of these channels that have way too many videos, it would be so hard to deal with that. So now this is, if you think about it, there's nowhere really good that they can go with it, as far as I can tell. And so I want to create the double stack. They might make it a little bit difficult for me. This could be problematic because, oh, you know, you bait this, and then if they take, I take. But it's more like if they move somewhere else, I would take. Otherwise, they're basically trapped with that anyway. Look at what a liability the knight can be. Look at this. Look at this. I'm not even doing anything, and it just trapped itself. I didn't do anything to earn that. Or I guess you still kind of get something out of it, but not really. Now you might get a passed pawn out of it. It just constantly creates trouble for them in such a way that is dumb, right? Like there's no reason to. What? Okay, that's my bad. Fucking goddamn it! I recovered too, and then I do that. Okay, fine. You know what, dude? All right. I hate these games where they just don't do anything noteworthy, but I just make it look like something more than what it is. That was going to be beautiful, though, because that very easily could have been a draw right after what I had just done. Alright, fine. He can have this one. That's okay. It always takes so long for that to start. So the only game I play purely that isn't, you know, oh, I'm being stream sniped is the one where the first one, because it just takes a while to load. But that is like a form of hard mode difficulty, I guess, in its own right. The fact that you can basically whatever, like you can always, people are always able to do that, and it kind of advertises it. Yeah, that was so trash that I started off just blundering a piece, like completely raw, and then you give me a stalemate. You're so fucking garbage, though, really. Like, These people don't do anything, man. Okay, so the point is I give a piece away at the beginning, but even beyond that, I play actually pretty well after that point, right? And then I'm actually equalizing, I win a pawn there, and then I get something else somehow through all this, right? I'm able to do that. So now we're actually only -1, but that would have been an actual good comeback victory. And then you're actually getting potentially trapped again. I don't know what the implication of that is, but look, dude. Even that's okay. There was still something here that even happened that was, well, up until that moment. What am I supposed to... Oh, you can just take it out, right? I don't know why I thought it was being covered by that somehow. Well, I guess that's the only one I'll do. Hey, Toe Tucker, how's it going? I feel like I'm just getting bored of it to the point where all these games are not really the opponent doing anything, which is really the problem with chess itself. The fact that if you really play it in just a disciplined way, even regardless of level, and I've shown that so many times, like you can just draw every game if you really want, or get it to like a really stale... What was this one? Oh, that was just against a viewer, which those don't really count for any... I never play them with rating or whatever. And one of these was so unfair too, because this was a disconnect loss where the site actually went down that one day, but somehow he won. I don't even get that. At least we should both lose, or it just shouldn't have counted. Right, and that precipitated, I guess, a losing streak. See, even here, I have the honor to turn down a draw when he's offering it. Alright, fine, so I'll try one of those other horror games, I guess. One thing I'm impressed with is how these games always work with game capture since they're so obscure. Or you know what I should do is I should change my little chess cursor because of course that doesn't really fit with this. But no, I'm continuing this little weird gimmicky genre that we have of games that interact with your voice. And it's interesting to see how each one of these actually uses the mechanic in terms of move and run, WSD and shift, scream, space, or mic. Well, I'm not going to necessarily do that. You know what I was doing in that Little Red Riding Hood one is I was coughing. But no, I assumed based on the name that this would be something about, oh, you ate too much candy and now you have to do something with that. Like Osmosis Jones style, go inside and try to do something, but I guess I was wrong. But yeah, I want it to be permadeath, so the only two that I have here ready right now is this one and then Escape the Aoyaki or whatever. The problem with these is they can be a gimmick where you're meant to die over and over and trial and error, like Slender the 8 pages or something of the sort. So they can be over with, unfortunately, pretty quickly. My favorite use of the mechanic so far was that Albedo, where it's just Little Red Hood was a bit contrived because you had to keep screaming like every 5 seconds to try to turn around, right? That was overused, and to jump. So there the whole core mechanic of the game is like every time you want to jump, which is the main thing you're doing, you have to whisper. Every time you want to turn around, which you have to do constantly, you have to scream. So that aspect wasn't very fun. It's overused. Whereas the Albedo one was actually pretty good because again, you're only saying it to cast spells and to interact with the guy who's giving you advice and like say yes or no. So that's at least more measured. And then Silent Breath, I didn't really even understand the extent to which it was really pertinent. You could just not say anything at all and that would kind of invalidate it. So Scream mode. Let's see, Scream mic level. I guess what I could do is I'm not really screaming. I'm just kind of, my mic is turned up so much that I can just talk like this and you would be, it would be good enough. So maybe I'll just do it like that because of course what I'm doing is both mic. I guess I will rely on the mic because I mean that's the whole fucking point of this, but so for educational use only. Wait, really? What the fuck does that mean? Am I supposed to scream now? Is that what's happening or what? Or imagine if the whole game is like this. I just have to project my voice a little bit. I'm so confused what the fuck this is. What the fuck are we talking about? Wait, what am I can't see anything, so maybe I missed something with the controls. So the whole point of it, or maybe that's what it means. You have to you can only see when you when you scream. Oh, this seems kind of dumb though. This would be like fucking annoying if you actually had to scream. Are you serious? Like I can only see when I would be yelling, and of course here I'm not. Oh, this is dumb, and I'm not even yelling. I'm just sort of projecting. Really, bro? Your eyes are in your mouth, and you have to. What the fuck are we doing? You could like give a little tutorial as to what you have to like maintain it for longer so I can keep it open. So imagine if your eyes were inside of your mouth, and this is what you would have to do, as if you couldn't just keep your mouth open without screaming. I have no idea what's even happening, but like I'm kind of moving around, but it didn't give me any sense of an objective. It didn't give me any sense of anything. Just like you can't see anything. I really wasn't expecting it to be like this. This is very contrived. You can kind of clip through walls a little bit. Okay, this is kind of dumb when they try to over-embrace the mechanic like this. Why does it even say for educational use anyway? Yeah, we're learning about how the mouth works, I guess, but like... So the arrow key kind of moves... Or no, I guess even WASD moves that sort of left to right, back and forth. Okay, we see like an item over there. This cannot actually be how you're meant to play this shit. What? It looks like you can just go through that. Okay, dude. I cannot see anything, which I guess is the whole point, but this isn't tonsil terror. This is like retina terror, because I can't fucking see it. Talk about a blind first playthrough. Yeah, these games are so obscure too. Like when you go to find them on Twitch, I'm even surprised that they have a category. And again, I'm surprised that they work with game capture or whatever. But also it's a case where I just have to get closer to the mic, I guess. Maybe I'm not screaming like adequately enough. Like imagine if you actually were screaming and doing this. You'd destroy your fucking lungs by doing this. I guess this is fine if I just go right up into it. So I'm probably peeking and stuff. So I have to explore the area while constantly doing this, which is utterly fucking stupid. So I'm sort of cheating and gaming the system by basically... Okay, I think that's like a ghost trying to kill me. By turning the mic volume up so much and just by getting closer to it. So for the purposes of people listening, it'd be like very unpleasant for this, but I guess the average clickbait streamer, YouTuber type thing. Because what you're doing is... I love it though. There's no story or like you're sort of playing into that kind of thing anyway, where somebody will be screaming or yelling every 5 seconds. This is incredibly stupid, honestly. It's almost like a mouth simulator, right? Like it's the way it's moving the mouth there is almost how I'm moving it, but not exactly. There must be some other mechanic that I'm just missing, but I don't really know. It didn't give me like any sense of what I'm even trying to do. So what exactly is so educational about this anyway? Yes, your teeth will click. Okay, click to pick up. What does that do? I have no idea. Sometimes I like when games are that cryptic, like you have to kind of figure everything out for yourself, but what even is it supposed to be? I don't know. Or the best vision that you get sometimes is just when you hug up against a wall, because you can kind of see through it a little bit that way. I guess what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to save up for like one big long screen, but even if you seem to maintain it, it only does it for like a second. This is utterly stupid, man. This is the kind of gimmicky trappings of the genre that you'll get, though, unfortunately. Like, this game is trying too hard, maybe, with the mechanic, or... Again, it's trying to actually kill you with the use of your lungs, which is maybe why it says educational purposes. Like, don't overdo it, or don't actually try to even play it, because you'd have to be screaming like all the fucking time, and I still can't see, even as I'm exploiting the mechanic here, like, because I'm not really yelling at all. I'm just kind of projecting a little bit and getting closer to the mic itself. I don't really want to skip one if I'm not actually dying, but I also don't want to die on purpose. We saw that ghost-like figure before. It got to give you like a little reprieve where you can see a little bit better. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? Is there some other control that maybe I was missing? Scream mode mic. I mean, you could just be spamming the spacebar, I guess. So you wouldn't be forced to do it this way, but this is kind of the whole point, so. Average Markiplier stream, like where he could just play normally because he's always yelling and being annoying, right? Or Tyler1. They could just give their normal commentary like what I'm doing now, except the difference is, and it would always be doing this, the difference is I guess I just have the thing turned up more than what it normally should be. Or maybe I don't have it turned up enough and that's the issue. Like I'm not fully trying to do the mechanic the way that I'm thinking that it is meant to be. We're clipping into some wall over there. I mean, I don't want to die on purpose, but I almost am like at a loss for what I'm even looking at or what I'm trying to do. Like, oh wow, I really don't see him. Oh wow, I don't know, man. That is so fucking annoying that I was supposed to collect a certain number of okay, so that was actually the thing. Like, I don't understand how this works. And I hate that principle. Yeah, I'm not the type of person to like lose or die on purpose, but I genuinely don't fucking understand what that was. Sometimes I'll be so triggered actually by a death or a loss or something that I'll, you know, lately I would break my permadeath rule and be like, oh no, let me try it again briefly just to try to understand what it even is meant to be or how it's even meant to work, but I don't even really care. Yeah, that one was irritating. Let's try this one, escape the Aoyaki or whatever, however you say it. And even my thought on the name was different. No, that one is designed to really just fucking troll you, basically. 1 viewer, 11 followers for the whole fucking category. And all these are made in like Unity engine too. Let's see what we got. This is called Escape the Aoyaki. Oh wait, wow, somebody's actually playing it though. Okay, this one's a little more popular. 8.3k followers. Let's see what we got. Microphone horror game. Yeah, I'm intrigued by how much people really will take something like this to the extreme. Alright, let's see if this one works with game capture as well, which it probably should. Yeah, these are like just obscure games that nobody's ever heard of generally. This is seemingly the most popular one so far, just based on the 8.3k followers. Alright, so let's just do this one, and then if we happen to die here, then, you know, we'll have to either buy a couple more, because I think I've exhausted most of the free ones. Yeah, that was maybe my least favorite one so far, and honestly, even as I'm looking at it, I don't even understand. Graphics quality, mouse sensitivity, and how about mic sensitivity? Yeah, see, at least this one's giving you some context to what's happening. You have to escape the mansion, but in order to do it, but no, that one follows like the Slender Man, Slender Man / Baldi's Basics and stuff trope of like, you know, collect the 8 pages or collect the 7 notebooks or whatever it was. You have to escape the mansion, but in order to do it, first you have to complete a few tasks. There are a few items that will help you escape the mansion. You have to find them. Be aware of this is going to be the same thing. That's collect X number of items before you die. Beware of the Aoyaki. He can hear you, literally. But then just don't talk. Just don't use a mic while you're playing the game by yourself in your room. Like, why would you be doing that anyway? Which is what I don't get about the genre. You can hide in hide spots, gather around the mansion, which are located behind some objects, in the furniture, and under tables. Keep in mind that if you are hidden with the flashlight turned on, they will kill you anyway. Okay, most games actually don't do that, where they punish you for the use of the flashlight. WASD, jump, crouch, run, flashlight switch, left mouse / E, use, interact, actions. Okay, those are the state icons. They will tell you what you're doing. That means you aren't being seen, I guess. Crouching, running, walking, standing. If staying idle, walking, running, pay close attention to the icon. When the icon turns into an eye with a cross line, it means you are hidden and they won't be able to catch you. But wouldn't that always be the case? Like, anytime you're not about to die, it wouldn't be able to see you. But I guess when it's nearby and it's not able to see you. I don't know what happened with the mic aspect either. Like, there's no configuration, so how would I know?
What is this place? I need to find a way out of here. Flashlight. This will come in handy.
Okay, at least this has a little... But no, like, how do I know as far as the mic feedback? It can hear me, so I better not give any commentary, or I better whisper. Or I'll just be quiet when I... Or she's, like, being all breathy and talkative as well. Look at her, she's a filthy mouth breather. I almost already fucked up because I like her little talking to herself. I always think to escape out the window in a horror type of setting, even if I have to climb out. Like, wouldn't that be safer than going through here? Oh shit. Is that really all we lasted? Fucking, the first time I was trying my flashlight right out at him too, and I forgot that that's a, you know. Well, this is the problem with these games, although the standard is pretty high. I just have to live with the fact that that counts, and that's a failure state, so we have to move on. It makes it a real gauntlet marathon type experience. But the point is that the flashlight will do it, talking will do it, but I don't understand how that mechanic really worked in terms of... It doesn't give you any feedback as far as that, like... He can hear you literally, but again, most games will have some sort of mic configuration to show that, so I honestly don't even understand it. Maybe it just means it can hear your character sort of whispering and stuff. But no, that one seemed at least a little better, but it didn't catch my flashlight the first time, and then he comes back around, and I was trying to hide under the table, and I guess I couldn't. So that's unfortunate. Maybe I'll look for another one since that ended so quickly. What the fuck, man? So let me actually look through and see. I mean, I don't want to spend too much money on these, but games that can hear your mic. Horror games where the monster can hear your microphone. As if this is really a thing that you should be, you know, having so many games in this genre, or that it even should be a genre. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll do at least a few more of these. I want to do kind of all of them on, like, there's this list of like 19 best horror games that are like, that use your mic, but probably that's gonna get too expensive because there's too many that you have to buy. List of horror games, Alien Isolation. Oh yeah, I was surprised by that. Backroom 1998. But is that one that I should listen to your mic, or horror game that listens to your mic? Okay, how about you just tell me the name of it? Clickbait fucking dog shit.
Ian Phillips is central.
This is Silent Breath. I already did that. Top 10 they can hear. 19. This was the list I was using before. Top 10. 10 horrifying. Voice control supported tagged horror. And this, of course, is what I was using anyway. So, or you know what? Let me look up that other category too. The fact that you have games that can hear your mic. It doesn't have to even be horror games. Right, just like could be a detective game. What is the game that listens to your mic? I guess it mostly is that. No mic, no game. Like I'm almost thinking of like a detective game or something. That's unfortunate. Like hyper realistic horror that uses mic to communicate.
Brandon Williams said it himself.
I am the pro-life.
What is it though? Supernatural. Yeah, that's the unfortunate trapping of this game. Like I would have assumed that it would have. This old hag can hear my microphone. Like voice and audio based horror game, A Quiet Scream. It should have been used in more things, right? Games that can hear your mic. Again, like a detective game, story game, choice game. There's so many things you could potentially do. A Quiet Place, The Road Ahead. When the game listens to your mic, not so much when you can speak to like NPCs. Games in which you can mic up, not so much with other actual people though. Not sure you want a game, just use Discord. Magical mic duel, Senpai hear my spell. A microphone connected, magical girl required to play the game. You become a magical girl engaged in magical battles. Just chant the spells on the screen. What the fuck? Some of this you could almost justify as like you can use this to help you learn how to speak a new language or something. Some Android games are quietly using your microphone to hear what you say. I don't get it. Like, how would you really search this in some other way? Games that use your mic, I guess, just period. 19 games that use voice recognition. 5 games with voice control support. Playable entirely via voice. Like, this could be good for 2 people who are like disabled in some way. That like I always said that like with people who could be blind, right? You could still play like chess or something, and it's like, oh, you're playing blindfold chess, but you could not only could you use it with your voice, but you could also understand based on the notation, right, where everything is, so you wouldn't need anything else. Games that use a microphone. 7 horror games literally use your microphone. Oh yeah, Phoenix Wright does do that. That was the first game I ever played with voice recognition. Not that you really need to use it, just whenever you say objection. That's kind of a very light, stupid use of it, though. Okay, let's look through some of these. Escape the Aoyaki, which I wasn't expecting it to be like a guy in a suit the way it showed it. I thought it was some sort of like old school supernatural monster. VR, I don't really care so much. Welcome to the Game. I've never played either one of them, and that one I actually didn't know was like that. In Silence. Now, if it's co-op, that could be a little tricky. Right, that it might not work. Does it have to be co-op, or it does say single player? $3.99. I guess I could try it. And I love these. Like, the less you know about them, the better. But some of them are kind of... Okay, I could maybe try that. I didn't know this would have a voice thing in there. Really? I guess that would be a surprise if you were doing that. Online co-op. Keep calm. No mic, please. More intense that way. What the fuck? Does it have a front pass? Microphone, let me see. I'm basically just trying to find the next one. I probably won't even do one here, but microphone, single player. I don't know what the purpose of it would be. House of Ashes single player. 4 gameplay mode: theatrical, curators cut, single player, movie night, and shared story. I guess it seems to mostly have to do with multiplayer. Co-op. Paranormal Activity: The Lost Soul. A lot of these are going to be almost like fan-made games or like just obscure indie kind of games. Experimental game that multiple genres focus on mechanics. This one seems kind of cool. Stay Close. Stifled we saw on the other list. In Silence I think we saw on another list. Yeah, the best way to beat these games with this mechanic is just don't say anything at all, and I wouldn't feel compelled to, aside from for commentary purposes. Like, I'm not really ever getting scared, or even to the extent that I would. Okay, that's like multiplayer. This one at least seems well regarded. Emily Wants to Play. First person adventure. In Silence. Don't Knock Twice. Let's just see which one of these are free, although probably none of them are, unfortunately. Most of them are pretty cheap, though. Survival game, I wonder if that's associated with the movie. Probably not. Yeah, $3.99. Would be kind of fun to do. In Silence. Don't Knock Twice. Emily Wants to Play. That's how much? $2.49. A lot of them are on sale, I guess, for that. But even then, they're not very much anyway. Or no, I mean, some of them actually are. $19.99. Holy shit. Okay, Stifled game. Anything that's like over 10 or something, I won't bother doing. Echolocation Horror Mystery. Okay, that one's just straight up too much money. Silence. In Silence. Didn't we already see that one here? But again, some of them will be like, oh, they use your mic, but they're multiplayer, so that's not what I want. Single player online PvP co-op, single player. I mean, when it says all of them, I don't really know. Like, maybe the mic mechanic will only work in that way for the multiplayer purpose. Okay, fine. Maybe I'll go on and binge and get each of these, because collectively between all of them, I'm getting like 6 or 7 of them for literally like $20. So I guess it's not so bad. In Silence, I don't know why that one's appearing so much on here. Let's see what other ones we have, though. Don't Scream looks kind of very similar to what I did, but what I got was Silent Breath, right? Yeah, where we're showing you the thing. I don't know why I find this so fascinating. It's just one of those obscure, like really weird. Oh, that's too expensive, though. Don't Scream. Yeah, nice fucking sale, dude. 10% off. Some of these are like 50% off. Don't Scream, available now on Steam. I love the art style on some of these, although this looks almost exactly like that one. The Silent Breath. But like, I like the sort of found footage aspect that they give for it. Stifled, okay. Super Normal was the one we just saw like on a YouTube thing. I guess that's only $4.79. Rotten Flesh. Cosmic Survival Horror Game. Okay, we'll skip that one. Psychopath Massacre. 187. Yeah, see, a lot of these are almost like fodder games that they expect themselves to be, you know, kind of one-off, just little gimmicks. Certainly the mechanic of that is a gimmick. And I'm going to come to find out some of them don't even use the mic very meaningfully, but I don't know. This one I was fascinated by the idea of, actually. The, like, you have to read a book and you're a little kid, like, is how it explains it there. Console Terror is fucking dog shit, dude. What the fuck is this? From a unique point of view where you can't see anything. This is fucking garbage. 8 hidden candies while avoiding the ghosts roaming the halls. The ghosts do not like noise. Oh, they don't like noise, but I'm literally yelling the whole fucking time so I can see. The player's experience takes place from a point of view inside a mouth and can only see when they scream to open it. What the fuck kind of stupid ass mechanic is that? Okay, welcome to the game I don't even want to do, because that's kind of such a novel one that I'm almost saving it for some special time, but... Or you know what game really betrayed people? The guy who made that made Rise with Strangers, and they never finished it, did they? It was absolutely disgusting how they did this. Like, it was never finished. Yeah, yeah. Look at that. GTA 6 will be released before this piece of crap comes out. So we took the donations for this game and used them to make Welcome to the Game, which, again, even if you like that, that's in principle very disingenuous because, I don't know, that guy is a real fucker. All right, 749, I guess I won't do that. There's so many of these, dude. Like, it's insane. 799. Okay, we'll save some of these for some other way, but what did I just close? Back rooms. Okay, go here. Demonologist. 1049. Fears to Fathom Northwood Hike. Okay. Let's see how much this will actually add up to. Albedo is free. The classrooms, kind of similar in principle to the... I mean, I would think of Baldi's Basics, but obviously it's like a play on the back rooms, I guess. Red and the Wisp. I like how some of the top ones are actually free. Like, you know, Albedo is free, number 4, and Red and the Whispering Woods is free. So you're trying to tell me these free ones that I already played are better than all the other ones that we're going to take a look at? No, that one was horrible, though. Terrible, I guess you could say, instead of Tonsil Terror. Tonsil Terrible. In Silence, we see here, Fears to Fathom. I think we just saw that, right? Norwood Hike. The classrooms, maybe I'll look at just because I'm intrigued by the subject matter. There is some other Baldi's Basics game, or I could try to beat that again, but I don't have that save. But that was an awesome, like, it was so frustrating and took me so long to beat it. Or I've never beaten Slender the 8 pages actually, and I probably should try to do that one day. It's pretty hard because, again, you'd have to go around, find the 8 pages first, and not pick any up, and then do it because, like, the more you pick up. Okay, I don't care about Alien Isolation. Don't Scream is the same one that we just saw, right? That has that found footage style. Welcome to the Game. I don't really care right now. I'm intrigued that that one even uses the monster feels unstoppable. I'm intrigued by that aspect, the fact that like that's older, so I'd be surprised to even see that it does have that. What was the other one? Or yeah, I could just do it on that, but it's like found footage horror games where you just kind of look like you're using that. And one could be really valuable, like just have really, really good graphics that almost seem like that one game, Unrecord or something, where it seemed that's not really, well, actually it might look in that perspective. It was something that's being advertised that makes it look almost like police body cam footage or something of the sort. And I think that's what it was called, at least. Unrecord on Steam single player FPS. Yeah. It makes it look like real life, or in a way, it actually might be real life. Like, this is actually a real person doing this. You just get to control. I don't know exactly how they did it. Of a tactical police officer with the perspective of his body camera. As you work the complex case, you'll need to use your tactical detective skills to succeed. I feel like Battlefield Hardline or something was meant to be like that. That is an intriguing concept. This is going to be all free stuff anyway. I guess not everything on here is free necessarily, but 19 games that use voice recognition. Lurking. I'm surprised that wasn't mentioned anywhere else. But yeah, I love how Phoenix Wright is actually on here. Scream Go Hero. Building bridges, you control your heroes, jump by screaming. Like, why is that a thing, though? Some of these don't even seem like horror games at all. Escape the Aoyaki again. The Broken Seal, I probably said it a million different ways. Broken Seal uses voice commands. Yeah, I do like that integration of using it as like to cast spells. World War II, Bot Colony. Robot's behavior has rubbed the company's directors the wrong way. Operates entirely on voice commands. That could turn into a horror game if, the robot starts trying to kill you, but I don't know. World of Magic. That seems to be a common genre in and of itself. Go play a Harry Potter game in VR and you can cast the spells by saying them. right? That kind of cringe-inducing mechanic, but throat sore, Tom Clancy's End War, Hey You Pikachu. What the fuck is even this? I've never even heard of this. Hey You Pikachu spin-off game at N64. Really? I've never even seen that referenced. Oh, wow. I wonder if you could emulate that accurately. Then N64 hardware accessory, binary domain, Odama, Lifeline. A lot of these were probably done as gimmicks. User voices for commanding the on-screen characters through speech recognition. Really? Infamous for falling flat in terms of sales and reviews, Phasmophobia. Seaman is fascinating, but it'd be really hard to get that to actually work or find it. Really? That's number one. Okay, too bad I died so quickly. I'll never get to actually experience it. Recommendation of the game playable using voice input. Do you know the Talon community? Talon voice. Didn't play much walking around King's Quest. Most of this is not going to be even horror, so I'm going to focus on the horror stuff first, but then I'm just fascinated by this as a whole subgenre. Yeah, that's what I always bring up too. Technically, you can play any game like that. Like I've seen that Ornstein and Smog. Somebody beats 100% King's Quest. Like beating ONS with voice, right? There's a video, yeah, voice souls. So you technically can do this if you really want, but that's a little different than saying you can actually play it that way normally, right? So if you take it far enough, yes, you can play any game with voice. Let's see. I'm basically just putting together a list here. So voice control support and King's Quest. Graphic adventure game series. I mean, any sort of story type game or choice type game would be very pertinent in that way too. Oh, this is kind of a cheese thing to do though. Like to leave that, so you go to the Steam page to look at the game, and then you get automatically thrown into that. Lurking, Stifled is in the works. Okay, and then one hand clapping, but this isn't a horror game anyway. Games that use the microphone. I guess that's enough of them. Let's just see what the names of these ones are. Of course, they're not going to put the name in there, so they'll bait you through. Game one. Oh, it's like backwards. Okay, backwards 1998. Albedo, we just saw. Number 3 is Stifled. Okay, we've seen. Number 4 is Silence. That one appeared a lot, actually, in me doing this. Escape the Aoyaki. Yeah, rub it in my face that I just died there. Fear is the Fathom, okay. And then Welcome to the Game. Okay, so we'll go with, I guess, these. Let's add up then. How much is this going to cost me? 4, 8, basically 10, 14... 15, 16, 17, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, like 30 something. Okay, that's not too bad, I guess. Okay, so we'll continue with those, and maybe I'll make this a regular thing, like where I'll do chess until I lose, and then if I lose, my punishment or whatever, we switch over to then doing this after. So we kind of have these two series going on. Okay, see you tomorrow. Okay, so today, since it's election night, I figured I may as well do something a little bit different. I was almost going to do it as a just chatting category and just sort of react to it, but since that's not exciting enough, we need to spice it up with a fucking board game that's going to end in draws the majority of the time. But yeah, I did predict originally that Trump was going to win. I thought it would be, well, you can't say for sure yet what's going to happen, because obviously California is going to go to her and stuff. Some things are always a sure thing, but it seems pretty good, and this sort of combats at least the whole thing like that happened last time in 2020 to whatever dubious things you might suspect. if a lot of the majority of states get the counting done now very early, then there's no question about like, oh, at 3 a.m. they uncover some ballots and they do something weird. Like Pennsylvania is notorious for that, so that's going to be bullshit. I guarantee you Pennsylvania will be Democrat, and I guarantee you it'll be at like 3 a.m. or some dumb shit like that. But yeah, I'm not a fan of either one necessarily, but there is like a bigger picture point that I've spoken about a number of times, and this sort of harkens back to my debate format where I would sort of talk about stuff like this a little bit. Hey, Freshwater, how's it going? How you been? So let's see what we have here. I mean, I guess I haven't really paid much attention to all the stories around it, but the one thing that he did that was kind of stupid is he campaigned in Madison Square Garden, like in New York City. But you know you're not going to win New York anyway, so what's the point? You know, I get he's from there, but he's been from there from 2016, and he was from there in 2020. Like, it doesn't really matter. But no, the bigger picture point is, do you care about the one-party state that the Democratic Party is threatening to become with the very clear coalition and, you know, sort of alignment with the corporate-owned media that they clearly have? Even people who like them can't really talk around how much bias there is there. That's really dangerous. I don't care who wins, just want the economy to get better. Yeah, and I can certainly understand people being frustrated with the way things presently are. But no, it's like, my whole dream was that if people don't like one candidate so much, like Trump, they could just vote against him by voting for an independent. Then why do you have to vote for the other major, you know, party? So you could still check both boxes. Like, if your only platform is you don't like him, which a lot of people sadly are like that, that doesn't mean you should vote for the other major party. So yeah, the threat of a one-party state, of that being much more significant, right, where you have this alignment of media and the Democratic Party that is more dangerous than whatever people think Trump might do. So this is actually looking really good for him. I wasn't expecting this, but I guess the good thing that they can do is, again, get most of these states done. You know there's going to be some shenanigans with Pennsylvania and bullshit like that. I mean, I feel like that's happened every time, where it seems like he probably is going to win that one and then he doesn't. So there is something weird about it. The water main breaks, and like, as much as people say these conspiracies, or I did say something pretty good a while ago about the 2021, it's that like, people sort of say that, oh, it's rigged, like in some way, right, that wasn't fully substantiated or whatever. But the thing is that there's two things. Like, number one, more people voted there than normal. Like, that's happening here too. So you do need to be a little more cautious. It doesn't mean that, oh, that invalidates the outcome or the outcome was different, but it means that it wasn't treated like as seriously as it should have been. Like, oh yeah, we just had the record number of the most votes ever for an incumbent and for a challenger. Like, both people got the most votes ever, and they treat it like, oh, it's no big deal, everything's fine. Like, there should have been a little more attempt to take that a bit more seriously and be weary about it. And then the other thing is that what do you call it? Oh yeah, I said the same thing about the media bias. Like, that arguably dictated the outcome, because if you look at it in terms of objective criteria, this is a good example that I always would give. When a president, right, so he gets like 60 plus million votes, whatever, the first time, and he wins in 2016. Now, typically when a president gets more votes the second time, right, for re-election, they're going to win, even if they get less. So Obama in 2008 to 2012 lost votes, but he still won in 2012. So you can win with less votes. But Trump not only didn't get less votes, he got more by like over 10 million. So that would both validate, oh, that means he must have been pretty good, according to people, as much as they try to say, oh, he's the worst president ever or whatever. And number two, what that means is that probably you would be guaranteed to win there. So that's a very aberrant outcome as well. Casually going through a major point in history. I guess everything is a point in history, but I mean, I don't think it's as big of a deal as people make it out to be either, but there is something disturbing about and I think this proves that's my biggest vendetta. Like, I don't care so much about politics, but I do have this whole long-standing, criticism and weariness of media in general, and this is a great way to bring that out, because I've done certain topics on it a long time ago in the past, like the Iraq war propaganda and stuff like that. Just the way that I sort of analyzed it, and it's something that I've always just sort of noticed and fed into. I kind of tried to qualify. So it's like, how does Biden get 81 million votes all of a sudden when he's run for president twice before? And he barely got any votes. He wasn't even his party's nominee, anything like that, right? How does that just suddenly happen? That's because of, again, media bias. Propaganda would be one of the only ways to really adequately explain it. So you go from being unpopular with your own party, not even like, oh, just Republicans saying it or somebody else saying it. His own party didn't like him, and now all of a sudden he gets 81 million votes. That doesn't mean that those votes are illegitimate, like, oh, they cheated there. It means that the bias and propaganda was so strong, censoring stuff that could hurt him, some of the stories, whatever. So that, and then you can just bait and switch. It doesn't matter. Oh, now Biden's gone, the most popular challenger ever, most popular candidate ever. Now he had to drop out, and now Harris comes a few months away from the election, and all of a sudden she's going to be incredibly popular. Like, even if she loses, it's like, how do you just suddenly do that? Well, she wasn't that popular with her own party either. She got like 1% of the vote in the primary. So that's what's disturbing. So in other words, whoever the media wants to win, they can just make them win just like that. And it's pretty telling as far as how it goes in other countries. Like, maybe it's not something people are super aware of, but if you study other countries' politics, you can look at like China or Russia. Sure, what they might do that people would bring up is, they're going to just, if you have like a legitimate challenger to Putin or Xi Jinping, like let's say that, they do their little show elections just for the procedure of it. If somebody has a legitimate chance of beating, Putin or Xi Jinping, they might just fall out of a window and they'll just disappear and they'll just die, or they'll get arrested for some pretense, right? But if not that, what's the next best thing? And the state-controlled media will, of course, throw a lot of dung at them and try to bring them down that way. So, in other words, that's like the check or the sort of approval of the elite of the country is represented. That's sort of the mouthpiece of the wealthy or the elite or whatever, the true power structure in the country. Whatever they want to happen, right, that's how they try to ensure it, or that's how they try to, make that happen. So, in other words, oh, you know what? That would have been nasty, because couldn't he have already done that? He would take, but I could just take with that, and even having that there doesn't change it. So yeah, it becomes the mouthpiece of the elite. So in other words, two unpopular candidates can suddenly be extremely powerful challengers, because you see the core defining element is just the media bias alone is too strong. And so I'm scared by this prospect, but I don't know what to really do about it. Right, so that bias aspect is very dangerous, and the reason why is because that shouldn't dictate the outcome so much, and that's what you see in China. That's what you see in other countries. I guess the argument sometimes people would make is, well, it's not state-controlled media, technically, so that's better than, it's still free press, and you're right, but that doesn't mean that they still can't take sides, right? If it's state aligned, that's still very dangerous. And when they play favorites, basically. This is a fork, except he'll go there and fucking destroy me, because then, in a way, though, if I somehow just move the king, you might be able to do something with it. Because now the knight will no longer be able to give a check, and what you're doing, well, you're going to double stack it, I bet, but I could have gone like this, and then if he moves this, I also get to take. Like, I could do this. No. Oh, this is a weird-ass position, too. But no, the core frustration comes with that idea, the fact that you're able to realize like the bigger picture, right? You don't have to like either one of them, but that would be the bigger point, is like, one seems like, what is it that makes, right, a candidate like Trump popular? It is just, he must have genuine public support, because if he doesn't have genuine public support, then where's he getting it from, right? He's not getting a lot of flattering coverage, to say the least, so there's nothing more to it. So if you have that, at least that tells you that would be the source of it. Whereas the other side is constantly getting buffered up in some unnatural way. So that shouldn't be required, basically, is the whole idea behind it. You shouldn't need the help of some other, external factor. That shouldn't be the defining factor. What other topics do we have here? Like abortion, I always kind of clown people for. And my position is pretty unique that, like, I don't feel like it should be illegal, but I also would stigmatize it heavily and say, in an ideal perfect world, it wouldn't need to happen, or it just wouldn't happen. So, and the health concerns and all that are a very small number of, a very, very small number of the actual cases that occur. And so, assault and health cases. So the reality is people try to play semantics with it in terms of the ability to say, well, we're going to dehumanize the fetus just to justify whatever we're going to do. We're going to try to change the language of it, right? So that's as if to almost acknowledge that if you didn't do that, then what would happen? And the answer is, you're basically admitting, like, oh, it's not okay if it was a baby, but you want to dehumanize it and say it's not. But it's a self-fulfilling fallacy, because you're saying, like, well, it's not a baby yet because we're not allowing it to develop into one, so we're going to kill it before that happens. So we're going to use the fact that we're preventing it from developing into a baby to justify killing it, but we're never giving it the chance to actually do that. So it's like, it's a very, oh, this is good. Your reason why it's okay to kill it is, oh, it's not yet fully developed, but it can't fully develop because you're killing it before you're giving it the chance to fully develop. So it's a self-fulfilling thing. You'll always be able to do it then. You could do it to everybody then. It's just not a good argument to make. I'd rather you admit what it's really about is that, oh, the vast majority of them are just for convenience, that people want to do it just because they just don't want to deal with the responsibility financially and otherwise. And that's actually fine. Within an absolutist perspective that I always talk about, that wouldn't actually be an issue. Wait, what? Oh, you do actually get it. Of course, bro couldn't actually make a mistake. That's all part of his plan. But yeah, that would be the point. That, oh, fuck off. The point would be, yeah, just admit what it's actually about, and that would be much better. So which ones, like, California is going to go to Harris. So that, sometimes this is just the order of the count can kind of obscure it a little bit when it comes to like, if you had counted that, it'd be a lot closer. The fact that, that's like 54 right there. But yeah, most of these are looking pretty good. If this is, now here comes the 3 a.m. fucking shit, dude. I'm just gonna say Pennsylvania is dirty. You can just tell some shit like that is just dirty, dude. But yeah, most of this is fine. Why is it that the West Coast specifically was so late in doing it? Is it a time zone issue, or like all of that was strategically not relevant, really? And there's a lot of that talk about the electoral college issues, the idea that, that the electoral college would basically be, oh, it's so bad, but I don't like how selective that was in terms of, I'm not saying it's a perfect system, but all of a sudden, again, because people don't like Trump, that's why they started to attack it, not just inherently. If you had criticized it before, I can accept that. Or I had like some big long spiel about it that was very, or not even long, but like one of my old school, it's hard to explain exactly. Like this series of logical razors that I would put together, like, if you want to complain about the electoral college as far as 2016, there's a few problems with that equation. And the reality is that if you didn't like it, you should have tried to change it before. And the people who had the most opportunity to change it were people already in politics. So Trump would have been the last person who actually would have had that ability. And on top of that, so he would have never had the chance to change it. A lot of the people who would criticize it or lose to him, like Hillary, didn't try to change it when they were in government, and they would have had the chance to potentially do that. And on top of that, oh shit. On top of that, you have the simple reality that, what do you call it? That they wouldn't have had the chance to change it, and also it's sort of like somebody playing the game by their rules. So an outsider to politics would be most disadvantaged by that sort of insular system. So it would be a system that punishes and allows independents to have a harder time winning. And so now you're getting into the whole trap of like, you're an outsider beating them at their own game, and now they complain that, oh, the game is rigged, but you're the one who set the rules. You're the one who's, who that process would favor. And so it's very hard to justify that. For fuck's sake. Given the fact that he's +5, this actually doesn't seem all that bad. I'm guessing because it's further away from DC. I guess. I don't know. Some of these I expected, like Michigan is always up for grabs. That's always a close one. That he says something kind of funny in Detroit, like he's in Detroit and he says, oh, if you don't vote for me, the whole country will end up like Detroit. Like, it's not untrue. Detroit is a shithole, I'll even say it, but it's like you probably shouldn't say that in Detroit. Like, what, do you want the whole country to be like your shitty city? Okay, I'm obviously gonna lose. God damn it, I don't know why he's doing that. Yeah, a lot of these should be pretty clear. That's pretty close. Wisconsin's pretty close. Michigan and Pennsylvania, he would have a chance. If he wins Pennsylvania, it's over. Like, that's always the one, but they never let him do it because now it's going to take till next week to fucking count, because that's totally what happened last time. It seemed like he was going to win it, and then there was some big delay. They had a water pipe break, and then they had a fucking bunch of ballots at 3 a.m. Like, that's the kind of shit that people make fun of, sort of rightly, right? Regardless of your feeling on whether something is dubious happening. That is absolutely the state. That is biggest clown show for it. Bro is gonna flag with this horse clown foolery. I can't even fucking talk properly about it. Like, what the fuck is he doing, man? You're up a piece. You're up +5. Like, what is this? Yeah, that knight's a good piece, by the way. You don't even need the knight, man. You could literally win this if the knight wasn't even on the fucking board. I don't know if it like updates auto, unless you have to reload like that. We can get a 3-fold repetition. We can get a flag. Like, I'm kind of confused. Okay, that's kind of good because he's pushing me back. And now you're doing this. Bro, you're making this way harder than it has to be. Okay, you just got to remember the knight is an absolute weak link, so you can always try to take advantage of that. Now, you can't actually do anything with these. Oh, but you already win. I mean, you just do that. Like, I'm done. For fuck's sake. Could be a stalemate possibility where the knight fucks everything up. Okay, whatever, dude. His last couple games have been pretty annoying, actually. Like, they're relatively even, and then something dumb sort of just happens. I don't really care about all these other things either. Senate. Lost 1 seat, gained 1 seat, but they're just counting them, I guess, quicker. House 125, 28. Lost 2 seats, gained 2 seats. 25 to 22. Perfectly balanced as all things should be, because it must be that. No, it doesn't have to be, I guess. Why is it like acting like that's the limit? Like they can't get more than 25. Okay, let's do another one. I have to change my stupid art then. But yeah, I've been on a pretty bad streak the last couple of times I've done this for whatever reason. Or I was gonna reintroduce those permadeath ones, like where I'll go until I lose. But yeah, what other good topics do we have here? I actually did a pretty good retread or look into some of these topics in the Phoenix Wright discussion, where like I was sort of role playing as both sides in Ace Attorney Online. So like Edgeworth is making the case for one side and something Edgeworth is making the case for one side, Phoenix is making the case for one side, and what you have is the ability to I was sort of clowning actually Democrats there because again I'm playing both sides, so I'm not really sure who's going to do better or what I'm going to come up with, but it ended up being where that was actually much better because again a lot of the arguments could just be used in a middle ground way, like if you don't like somebody, just don't vote for them. If you want to vote against somebody, you can vote for an independent. So none of that really goes to voting, more in the left direction because that's like the only platform that there is, which is really heavily lacking. That we just don't like this other guy, so we're gonna mindlessly vote for, some other major party in a way that's not. The chess custom pieces, isn't this just the same thing I just used? Cute cat icon, Darkwood board, darker theme. I like this one, but it doesn't work because you're missing Naomi. Light fucking killed her and made her kill herself, and she buried herself in the woods somewhere, and then we never find her because he writes out like some super elaborate means of killing her. I really wish I could use that one. I guess I could just try to manually keep track of that one of that one piece, but that's an extra level of challenge that I can't handle right now. So we go to somewhere along the lines here, and it's going to be Green Glow is one of my favorite ones. Unfortunately, the board aspect of it doesn't work anymore. There was some update on here that kind of fucked that up. Darker theme. I was using these before where I would sort of change it around. I actually kind of like that just as a permanent fixture. That just looks beautiful. Maybe I'll just do that. I'll just keep it as a constant thing. So that's not really a permanent thing. It's just whatever. And of course, the boards change as I win games. I guess I could do that. Maybe I change the theme every time I win. But custom pieces I just used. Right, those are pretty much the same. Death Note. I almost want to indulge it. Because all I'd have to do, it's so much work though. I have to keep track of this stupid ass queen. Where, you know what, it's such a good set. I'll still even do it. And so, okay, let's see what's going on. 112. But yeah, this is looking pretty good for him here. Let's see, Maine. Worth 4. Yeah, Pennsylvania would be the one, though. I would say that right for sure. If he wins that, that's pretty much it. Because that's a real toss-up. Michigan is still possible. I mean, some of these are so close. Georgia is kind of a big deal where he was, so pissed about losing that last time. Virginia, I somehow think of going the other way as well. Yeah, let's actually try to do this with the fucking Death Note set, though. That would be sick. So he's white, I'm pretty sure. It would make sense. So the only thing you're missing is the queen, so I just have to keep track of his queen's positioning. And if I can do that, then oh shit, what's happening there? You keep track of the queen, and I don't know. That's gonna be so fucking difficult. It's like an extra layer of challenge. So we already have to do that. So the queen is there. I mean, the whole highlighting of it kind of makes it work out pretty well. So you can bring the queen here, and that sort of shuts down whatever it is they might be doing, I think. You're double attacking here. I could just double cover it there. And the reason why is because, okay, Ryuk comes. You're comparing Ryuk to Ray Penber. Like, I guess he did counter him by, like, watching his, like, announcing to Light whatever he was trying to do. And that's one rare time that he actually helped him. Now this could hurt me because it allows your knight to come there, but it maybe doesn't matter that much either. Like, I don't know actually what. There's nothing you can really do with it. You would have to attack it with this stupid ass bishop from some way. Let's see what we got here. Bring the knight out. He's not really putting any meaningful pressure. Everybody hates Nier so much just because, like, oh, he gets the credit for winning, but they do sort of qualify it at least to say, like, he didn't really beat Light. He just, you know, benefited from Mello helping him and all that. Like, they don't write it in such a way to imply that, like, oh, he's actually smarter than Light or better than Light, and then therefore better than L. You go here would be something you could do. The Ryuk is a fucking horse. That is kind of insulting to him, I think. Light and L are obviously the kings. You got Mello as the bishop. That actually makes a lot of sense because, you know. And you have Naomi, and see, like, the queens are off the board, so now I have nothing to worry about. Actually, that encourages my trading style play even more, just because you can't fucking see the piece. But no, it's like you have okay, Ray Penber is the knight, and the other aspect. Okay, I was thinking about that he could do that too, but but no, it's like that Mello and Nier, it kind of makes sense as far as like a power ranking issue is that Mello is always secondary to Nier. So it makes sense that the stronger of the two pieces would be Nier. That's kind of a good thing that they did there. You try to get rid of this. But yeah, I've always been scared to use this set just because of that reason, that I feel like, oh, I'm going to get clowned by the fact of Mikami being the rook is also pretty logical. So I guess the one character who's missing here is Takeda, though. Takeda could easily be the queen, but I guess it's Misa instead. She has more presence in the series. Like, it almost doesn't fit because Misa is such a fucking liability. Misa could have been like the rook instead. Or, I'm sorry, the bishop. Misa should have been the bishop, and Takeda should have been the queen because she's way more capable than Misa is. Or arguably, even Mikami could be the queen. Even as weird as that seems, because he's at least more capable in a broad general sense. He's winning the popular vote so far too, and of course he got 74 million last time, so he's already on his way, right, in a big way. But this is where some of the numbers get inflated in certain states, because you know you're gonna win New York, but then it becomes sort of redundant that you do, because it's like, you know, you'll just sort of pad it because the population is so extensive. California and so Arizona would be a big deal as well. And so let's see what we can do here. You're hitting this. I kind of don't like the way this is going. It's a lot of back and forth bullshit. I'd like to do another trade. How fitting would it be if Rem, a bishop, checkmates L, because that's actually what did happen. Which a lot of people felicitously use that to try to discredit some of the nature of the series, as far as, you know, like, oh, you get to discredit a Light, but it's still all Light's plan. Like, Rem was arguably as much of an obstacle to Light as L in a way, because she was trying to protect Misa and didn't really like Light. But, you know, given the circumstances, you have so you go here, you're threatening to go here. If I go here and you go here, then I go here, then you go here. That's sort of giving them too much initiative, in my opinion. Yeah, like this is almost shows you the resources that they have. It's the notebook versus like the worldwide police and all the, you know, resources that Al has in that position. And so here you're hitting the actual bishop itself, which I wouldn't mind if he took, but I don't know. I guess I'll let him do it. So go ahead, we trade. And we have the little black theme. I guess the one thing I can't really see very well here is the time, which somehow that wasn't an issue before in the last game. What was so different about it? Necromancer, not mage, is in grave danger. I found that pretty good. That's a good Necromancer pun. So you open that shit up now because you're not worried because I don't have the Darkstar Bishop anymore. Very appropriate. So now you can keep doing this shit over and over, and I find that kind of annoying. Yeah, you're really ragging on somebody. Like, shouldn't it be Soichiro Yagami or somebody like more noteworthy? Not that Ray Penber isn't a significant character, but he's just kind of random, and you kind of forget. Oh God, you're gonna go to there. You're gonna try to be all cute about it. So yeah, that's maybe what I would have done. I would have made Takeda the queen potentially, and I would have made Yagami, his dad, the knight. So here you bring it into there. So now you can do this, but it's no longer even giving a check or anything. You do it like there, and then if I don't take, I get screwed. So you have kind of maybe a little mistake that I made. Just trying to trade everything off in a way that may not actually be that good for me. So looking like most of these are doing pretty good. Again, Pennsylvania would be very valuable. But no, I like how people suddenly treat it like, oh, we care so much about it now. Like, as if, I don't know, there's so much of that response. Like, oh, we care when we didn't care in other elections. Like, shouldn't you care all the time? Doesn't it always matter? It's like the selective thing. Like, oh, now you're finally deciding to pay attention. So, like, you're kind of outing yourself a little bit. Like, oh, so you were just stupid and now you're not because you weren't paying attention, basically. Okay, let's see what we can do here. This is a very dangerous kind of a thing, so maybe I'll do this even though I don't want to. But yeah, Mikami is definitely not on Nier's level, but that's not really what it has to mean. You got 4 gods of death on your side. It's very unfair. Yeah, mathematically, this should be pretty clear, but I don't know. 88% reporting, unless some shenanigans happen here. You already know what I already predicted. Pennsylvania is going to have shenanigans. Alright, so we have this. You go here. They would take, I would take, they would take, I would still take. You can do this. They would take, I would take, they would take, I would still take. You have this little V-shaped structure that I always swear by. I'm in a good, reasonable spot. You're hitting that with a check. Doesn't really change anything if you take, I still take. That would be very dangerous. In fact, it is very dangerous, but there is one way to escape it, because now if you take this, then I take this. And if you take this, then I take it back with this. So it technically that could have been a disastrous moment. And I'm surprised I wasn't more aware of it, but or yeah, like people in other countries, even some of my friends from other countries like Australia and stuff, have such a strong opinion about it. It's like you wouldn't normally hear or care that much about it, but I guess I don't know. Something about it just feels weird. Like, why do people suddenly care? Why is it suddenly a big deal? What? And by that logic, like, why couldn't I? Oh, I mean, I guess I was doing fine. It was a good thing, but I fucked up. Yeah, but I was doing so good too, and I can't blame the piece that like, oh, I couldn't see the queen. You're really gonna give it to Misa though, just because oh, you think she's more attractive or something, not because she's actually, you know, smarter or better or more capable in the series. She's a fucking liability. You know, even Naomi Mizura, like they want it to be female, obviously, but it'd be like your right hand. So L doesn't really have. Yeah, it could be watery instead of, you know, that would almost make more sense. Like the right hand, not so much some female character that happens to just have to be that. So you have the ability to basically go here, 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 try to take there. So if I didn't just randomly blunder a piece that I didn't have to do, I would have been fine. Don't you love when you do that? Like just random shit that you don't have to do even. I should get one of those for sure so I can maybe claw my way back, but the problem is time is not on my side. So what's intriguing is also the popular vote. I mean, you'll see some more come into here that'll make up for that. With respect to, you know, that in California, so that will still play into it. You know, I may get trapped with this, but I don't necessarily think I will. But it's very easy to trap the stupid ass knight. Nier's really trying to take out a fucking god of death, dude. So that's good. You get an octopus knight. And you would guarantee a trade here that what I almost would like, but maybe I won't do it now. And so what you have is you know, normally I would do that, but now with the pawns I don't know actually what I want to do. If the time was like reversed, you know, then I could always take advantage and try to flag him, but I don't know. 48, gain 1 seat, lost 1 seat. 92. Oh, fuck, I don't have time for this shit. This is where the trading would be very valuable, but the problem is that you're able to I can't really afford to do it because I have so little material anyway already. So yeah, I won't even see the full outcome of this, but I guess what I'll see is you know, generally it looks like he's gonna win, but then there'll be all this 3 a.m. kind of dog shit that happens, where oh my goodness, now everything flips. Okay, dude. So the knight isn't really doing anything, but oh, it's an octopus knight, so I should be technically winning because octopus knights are so good, but we gotta wait for the opportune moment to actually use it effectively. What did he just win to even get that? I don't even see it. You know, all kinds of crazy crap with this. Give a check, I take. He's gonna trap me with the 2 bishops, maybe. For fuck's sake. God damn it, dude. You didn't deserve any of that because you were basically in a position to. New Mexico kind of flipped around a little bit. You were in a position. The octopus knight still means that I'm even because it's worth 8 apparently in some stupid ass calculation that people always say that oh the octopus knight is worth such and such. So 210, you're almost doubling them up, but just keep in mind obviously California is worth like 50 alone. And so that's going to be a guaranteed thing that you're going to get. So you're winning actually New Mexico by a lot. I'm surprised by that. Yeah, New Mexico, also known as the United States of America since 2020, am I right? With all the fucking illegal immigrants we've let in, we may as well call the whole country New Mexico. And we have Georgia is a big deal. We have Pennsylvania is a big deal. Now, in before the 3 a.m. fucking mail-in votes, this one is pretty close. That would be kind of a big deal. Do not win Pennsylvania at 3 a.m. gone wrong. I'm telling you, dude. It's the exact fucking same thing. It actually might be a lot closer than what it seems like, just because he's ahead early, right? Because technically you can say she's already at like 170. Because you know she's going to win California and you know she's going to win like one of these other ones. And so now you have it's really a difference of a couple key states. See, this one was favoring, oh, I guess it's not really much reporting. This one was red like the whole time, but I guess they haven't really counted much. So Georgia is a big deal. Georgia and Pennsylvania would really be the 2 that seal it. If he wins both of those, because that's not something that he did last time, right? He couldn't have. Yeah. He lost both last time and was upset about it. This one seems pretty much sure because there's 88% reporting. That's only 60%. Michigan sort of has flipped here now. Yeah, there's a lot of paths for him now. It's very tight. You know, if you take away California, she's in a little bit of hot water. Typically, I feel like Alaska and Hawaii are Republican. 0 electoral votes. Yeah, see how the Electoral College doesn't favor independents? That's really what it's designed to prevent. Is someone outside the political system, political class, and then somebody who's an outsider who's running for the first time wins, and then, oh no, it's all the Electoral College's fault. Like, what the fuck? That doesn't mean it's a good system necessarily, but it's still dumb. Okay, let's change to the next set. I'll play a couple more, I guess. This is pretty close. Yeah, it's deceptive how, you know, depending which states start, it seemed like he was at a way bigger advantage than what he actually is. Because some of these you can just get out of the way at the beginning. You already know who's going to win New York and Florida and some of these. So which art was I on? The Grave Danger one. Now we have 3 in a row that are basically exactly the same thing. Just me looking at the fucking Orwell starting logo screen. Let's see here. We'll put the background. We'll put the next piece set. It's unfortunate because I did my best with the Death Note one, but I'm not going to blame the Death Note set as why I lost. Right, the Queen had nothing to do with it because I got to trade it off. So we got the Death Note. Where is it? Oh yeah, this one's pretty beautiful. In fact, this looks different than when I remember using it before. Let me actually look at something. 2020. Like, let's compare it in terms of what is happening here. 235 to 303. And it was, yeah, Pennsylvania. Like, let's compare which ones has he already won that he didn't win there. Texas, Oklahoma. Okay, most of these are the same. If again, a lot of these, if he wins, that would be the big difference. He didn't win Pennsylvania. He didn't win Georgia. He did win North Carolina, South Carolina. Oh, I somehow I thought he won Virginia. I don't know why I think of Virginia as a more Republican red kind of state. Most of these he won. I don't know how this thing works, where you still get like one electoral vote in a different direction. Alaska, Hawaii was actually okay. I didn't know that Hawaii was actually Democrat. 4 and 1. They sometimes get that where they choose somebody different than even who wins. Yeah, looking at it, it's actually more similar than you would think. It really comes down to like, are they really gonna win all of these though? You need like one of these states to break through. If you could win Arizona, that's a big deal. So all these are extremely close. Georgia, he really should win given the math here. Right, 10% left. Pennsylvania is going to be pretty close. But yeah, if you win any of these, so he didn't win Michigan, Wisconsin, or that. So again, you got to win one of these 3, and then you have to win probably 2 of these 3 between Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. And that would be a pretty good path. Okay, let's go ahead and do another one. Yeah, they have different districts. Yeah, I forget exactly, but they get to choose like, or I don't know. Yeah, it can go against like what the state typically is, right? Like it can go in both directions somehow. Right, we go back here, which means this probably the bishop is not going to be very good in this kind of game. So Illinois, you win. Crime infested Chicago, of course. Some of these aren't even entirely accurate. Like, what if of the 25% left, you were to get all 100% of those votes, right? Trump could actually win that. It's very unlikely that's going to happen. But, you know, it's sometimes, you know, like, oh, the 75% reporting. What if he gets all the remaining 25%? So you have this, which I can't do. And the knight ends up being sort of a liability here. You got 113 to 210. I mean, just given that, you would think the popular vote, even with New York, you are winning as well. But by 6 million even. That's actually the biggest surprise. Because the only real stronghold you have now, if you're Harris, for the popular vote, is California. So that's actually not looking very good either. How ironic. If he would, as much as people complain and whine that, oh, the electoral college, this or that, imagine if he wins the popular vote, but he loses the electoral college. That would be the ultimate irony coming full circle, because that's how it began, with him winning the other way. Why are some of these states so slow, though? See, this is what ruins the momentum of it. Like, if you just get it over with, it removes all those doubts and questions that people have, whether they're justified or not. Yeah, that's the best way to convince people that, oh, there isn't like some sort of rigged agenda in general, not just to do with the election, but like everything leading up to it, is by calling half the population terrible people for having a different opinion, or, you know, for supporting somebody. Then when it comes down to these moments, that's why people are so bitter, because it's like, you know, the media spends 4 years saying, oh, this guy's horrible, this guy, everybody who supports him is bad, evil people, and now when he loses, it feels like, oh, like as if there's not an incentive behind that. It's not like you were being objective about it. You were constantly saying how much, oh, he's terrible, how could anybody vote for him, you know? So when you inject yourself like that, now it comes back on you because it's very, you know, you're kind of telling. Yeah, let me actually look at these comparisons though. Because so Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona. Yeah, this is a thing as well. If you could win one, okay, you're not going to win that. You would think, given the border issue, like, oh yeah, everybody's upset about the border, so why the fuck doesn't New Mexico care? I guess they want to live up to their name. They don't want to be New Mexico. They want to actually just be Mexico. That makes no sense to me, actually. Of all the states, this is the one you would expect he would definitely win, because aren't they upset with what's happened at the border? Like, isn't that the whole point of this shit? So go here. They would take, can't take. This pawn is a little confused as to where exactly it's trying to go. Electoral voting meta. Let's see what we got. They would take, I would take, they would take, I would still take. But yeah, it definitely is a flawed system that I wouldn't mind seeing changed at some point, but because the whole principle behind it is just basically territory, that every state was promised a certain amount of votes based on the size of its land and stuff like that, more so than population. So over time, people do make very good points, like, you know, as the population changes, it's not fair to say that, oh, it should be always the same number no matter what. It should fluctuate based on population, or some other criteria should be used. I guess I'll have to trade here. But no, like a raw popular vote would seem to disenfranchise certain states, but maybe not, because like you could say, well, New York and California are always going to be Democrats, but that's to their credit then, because, you know, those votes count, so it doesn't matter what, you know, where they come from. If the whole, you know, if out of 300 million people, if 100 million live in 2 states, and those 2 states, you know, mostly go to one candidate, that still counts. You can't really diminish that just by saying it's sort of fatigue from one state. So 49 to 43 is pretty impressive, actually. That is kind of a shocking, regardless of the electoral number. I'm surprised that he's up in that way at all. Because if you take away California, it seems like she's actually going to lose the popular vote no matter what. But she still has a chance in the college, because you have some weird path, but very unlikely. It really comes down to Pennsylvania. And if he wins Michigan, you're kind of screwed, because any of these 3, you're kind of fucked. Oh, shit. Oh, but it's only 9% reporting. Okay, we can just take their... Wait, what? Oh, you could have done something cheeky like this and then this, maybe. 210, bro. It'd be so shocking. Okay, so if you go here... Why shouldn't I be able to do that? So I'd be plus... I'd be -1. I think it's fine. It's not that you're saying it's not going to be covered. You're just saying that it's going to be something a little bit different as far as... Yeah, that didn't actually do anything for me mathematically. It just kind of looked cute, I guess. You have the ability to Double attack this, but they have way too much cover on there. I'm not actually sure what this bishop is doing right now. 210, 50 million to 44 million. And again, this visual here of these four being red, 66 to only 26, 59, that could determine it right there for you. Arizona is kind of a big deal as well. Some of these states are always so close, right? Pennsylvania is close. Georgia's always close. Arizona was very close. And those were ones that he lost. He lost Arizona. He lost Michigan. These would be pretty surprising, actually, if he won either of those. What you have here is maybe the compelled trade. No, but I can't do it. I don't know. Or yeah, imagine if it actually was a 269 thing. Could be actually pretty bad because you go, yeah, what does actually happen? I don't even know. People talk about it like every single election, just in some weird, vague, hypothetical sense, but okay, if you go here, almost want to go here, then you have an Octopus Knight, which we had in the last game, so clearly that doesn't mean I auto win, but I sort of just blundered a piece last game for no reason at all. The New Mexico kind of disappointed me. You kind of deserve what you get if this goes the other way. Makes no fucking sense. If there's one state that I was sure of, it would have been that. You know, like Texas, he should have won by, not by that much though, honestly, still. Like Texas and Florida are basically the equivalents to New York and California, but not quite as strong. Because you don't get as many votes from them. This is beautiful positioning. If you raise it, I can't take. What you need to figure out is a simple way to. I can't even take it anyway, but you can just go here. Donald Trump trying to find the imaginary 2.5 decillion votes for him from 2020. You go here, here, here. You could take this. This guy's kind of falling apart a little bit, I guess. But no, I fell down pretty hard as well. Like I keep going back and forth. Like I was on a really good streak for a while. But yeah, it's gonna take a while to get back to 17. This is okay. Or wait a second, why did I even do it like that? Wait, what happened? Why didn't I just take that? I took, oh, I guess I didn't have the chance to do it. For fuck's sake. We're still in a good spot. Okay, I was gonna say what happened, but obviously California. But now it's looking a little tighter. California and Washington suddenly, they weren't even highlighted, and they suddenly just say that. What the fuck? 0% reporting. What do you mean, dude? I mean, this is actual how California and New York work. Just give it to her. You know she's gonna win it, but 0% reporting, 0 vote count, but she just wins it. Fuck it. What does that mean, dude? Like, you know that's gonna happen, but why are they doing it like that? These two just suddenly magically appeared, even though they're not even done, or they didn't even show like that they started. You know, it goes from this highlighted color to that typically. So the thing is, that might look good for her, but that's like the last bastion of hope that you have. A lot of these other states might not be going your way. So now you have the ability to I don't know what he's doing actually. What? What is that? Okay, he's finding all kind of creative, crazy mate. That makes it look like it's part of the UI of the actual site. That's how you get to the settings. That's how you get to the how you leave. Okay, I'm not playing very well, I will admit. So she won both California and Washington with 0 votes in either one because her total is still 44 million. So how the fuck does that happen? I love that. Let's just preemptively call it for her, just so that the total doesn't look so bad and so swayed. Like, what do you mean? How can you call it when nothing's even happening? That's so stupid. I mean, if you're gonna do it, and even Washington might not have been that sure of a thing. Oregon 1% reporting. It'll be like some kind of glitch, but how convenient that it goes in one. Let's look at some of these other sites, I guess. Presidential election results. Ted Cruz will win a 3rd term, likely ending Democratic hopes, flipping GOP seat. But no, perhaps the most surprising thing is the popular vote so far. I guess this is about as accurate as you're gonna get, but I love what they did there. We don't even need to report, like just assume it. You know, at least that's up there, and it's a substantial margin that you would accept. So this is 69%. He is winning. So that trend would probably stay, but we're going to have to stay up till 3 a.m. to see what happens with it. This is too early to even care. This is pretty good. Right, Wisconsin's pretty good. Minnesota, any of those would be good. See, why is Georgia taking so long? Like, this normally they would call it here. This should be it. You can call this with 0% though, lol. Okay, let's do another one. Let's see here. No, but it started off seeming much more one-sided than actually what it would be. Let's see. So we did the Orwell. Now it's going to be impossible to tell which one I am using because all 3 of these look like almost exactly the same. Data entry. Let's see what we got. This is... I can't even see what it is that I'm looking at. Like, you have been accepted into Orwell. Okay, this will be number 4. Yeah, it becomes kind of redundant when I use the same one twice. Then it makes it feel like I'm cheating. But for the sake of... most of these thumbnails are different. And they're just mostly random images from a game. It's not like it's something I carefully created or planned out. But sometimes those actually do better than ones that you do plan out. Whoops. Oh yeah, I haven't been using the perks for that either. And I guess I haven't changed the board in a while because I just haven't won. DGT Pegasus pieces. I did like that set quite a bit. So now you have the ability to consider that you have Euro Chad pieces. That would be the next one. 214. 179, 51 million to 45 million. Again, there's a couple million votes to be expected here. Something about that feels kind of weird. Like, honestly, they don't want to make it seem like it's too much in his favor, so now they're trying to even it up by just jumping the gun with those 2. Because otherwise, you're literally almost there. If some of these would just fucking hurry up, dude. Why they always got to delay? The Georgia, he should definitely win. So 230, Arizona would be very powerful. who won Nevada last time? I guess Democrats won Nevada. That one's not even doing anything. That is very tight. Let's do another one here. I got to change my shush icon to a clown emoji because of how I've been playing. It's a pretty good set too. I actually don't remember this one really. I definitely don't remember the queen. Am I gonna fall below 1600? Because that should almost be some sort of failure state. When we had been as high as 1730 or something, 1727. I'm obviously just not paying attention. You go here, you go here. You try to overextend, put the bishop a little bit into here. Fucking Georgia, man. Georgia and Pennsylvania just sort of dragged their feet a little bit too much. You can try to go there and be all cute, but you have the knight to actually take. Sometimes you move in like sort of autopilot way too, especially in the opening where it ends up being like, you know, just you might miss something that they give you because you don't expect them to actually make a mistake or do anything substantial all along the line. And so here you could go, they would take, I would take, they would take, I would take, they would still take. Let's go here. They would take, I would still take. If they take, I can take. You raise, I can raise. Okay. You raise, I raise, and then I can go back. And it's actually okay. Even though it seems kind of ugly, it's a case where you do sort of the old bait and switch. If they raise here, I raise here. If they raise here, I raise here. So either way, it's actually okay. Because the bishop serves as a perpetual cover for this segment here anyway, and so you're able to do it in a way that's actually good. There's so many people who would probably be doing this sort of thing too. Like, let's stream the thing just because it's whatever. Wait, what the fuck is this, dude? Like, even there, I'm shocked and surprised that he would even do that because it's so stupid. Let's see what we got here. Now, all we have to do is like play disciplined, but that could be pretty hard to say. But even without doing that, it's still good. And the reason why is because we're able to I don't know, now I'm gonna do like something overly brazen that I really didn't need to do, and now my king is gonna be too open. So I got like maybe overconfident a little bit. You take. Trying to maybe try too hard to save my bishop here. Doesn't seem like a mistake either because they're just saying like that. You can't go there. You can go here. Now you'll go here, I guess. You have this. I could. What? Well, I guess I just gave him that right back. Then fuck it. So now I can't afford to lose the bishop itself because that, you know, not only did I get the rook, but I got the rook for free, basically, assuming that I'm able to keep the bishop alive. So now you'll set up to have the rook come into there, and then we have to cover it. So we could just come to here. Yeah, that was not reporting enough. 63, 30%. The leads are not that substantial there. This looks pretty good. This looks very good. But those are the two that, you know, people start to suspect something dubious if you know, Georgia and Pennsylvania were looking like it, or in even North Carolina. Like, why aren't you just fucking finishing it, dude? Any of these other ones would be called already. That's only 50%. Okay, bro, he's trying to be all cute. I'm still +1, but just the position doesn't look very good somehow. You take, I could take. Yeah, North Carolina was actually there. Virginia was not there, which probably it's not going to be. You can go to here, go all the way back. Where did the results for that even come from? Like, it wasn't even there at all. How do you go from 0% to 51% just like that? And then these ones, okay, now that's how he's starting. What is this fucking rigged shit? 47.3% versus 50.4%, but she won. Like, yes, probably she's going to win, but how do you know that? What the fuck is going on? You put it to here. It doesn't matter who, what's the expression? It's like, doesn't matter who you vote for, it matters who counts the votes. But in this case, it matters who reports the votes, because it's ultimately up to the media, so they can just kind of bullshit it, and then people just blindly accept it. So you have a cute little thing there you could potentially do. But let me see. You could do some maximum level cuteness thing here. Take. I guess not, though. If they took with the pawn itself, then I could do it. Yeah, I like all the unexpected support that you saw Trump ultimately get, like Tulsi Gabbard, who was a Democrat, or, you know, RFK, who is running basically as an independent, and the other, you know, just Elon Musk and Joe Rogan now, and like all these kind of other people outside the what you'd normally expect, I guess. So it's coming down to some of the same points. Nevada's just fucking asleep. Nevada, Alaska, and Hawaii, which nobody really cares about Alaska and Hawaii as much, but if only I had a cover there, you could actually do something with this shit. So let me see. You'll raise it to there, then you won't go. You won't be able to go anywhere with it. So you're going to, you go here, I go here, and now you shouldn't be able to do anything, because I could still take, you can't go to here because of the bishop and the knight. I don't know why it has to take this long for some of these, man. How come every other state can do it? %, 65%. If I do this now, you still can't take it. Because if you take, I take, you take, I still take. This is bad because I don't want to let him bring that shit into here. The night. It's 53 to 48. Now you give a nasty little check, but it's not that I can't deal with it. $48 to 54, and miraculously, both California and this happened, and of course this was one of these was incorrect the whole way. Like you just win those no matter what. I like that it's actually operating off the assumption standard. Like, oh, Democrats always win that state, which they do, but it doesn't mean that that has to happen here. You'll go to here and I could take, I'm not really sure what's happening. You go to here and I'm almost obligated to take. I mean, if the vote total last time was 74 million here, right, we're already most of the way in, and a lot of that just ends up being the excess votes that don't really matter because of the Electoral College anyway, you know, determining the outcome. So you could potentially go to here, and so now you have... Ooh. You would take, I would take, you would take, I would take, you would take. Yes, of course. Of course. Okay, you people are fucking annoying me. Holy shit. Let's see what we got here. 230. Which one was that? I don't even know which one keeps happening to make that happen. It's not Pennsylvania, it's not Georgia, it's not one of these three. So, oh, it was North Carolina, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of a big one. And I'm really surprised by Virginia. I feel like historically that one tends to be more Republican. But you can kind of see the whole swaths of, you know, it always makes it look like, oh, Republicans are doing better. And even here, like, oh, look at the middle ground is all, you know, it's not the number of states, but it's because some of these states are so impactful, like New York. And I guess you don't think of it like that. New York actually has less electoral votes than Florida and Texas, even though it feels like it's so big because of the obvious New York City and stuff. Split votes, you got a question mark that's like that's like a brilliant move on chess.com, except a brilliant blunder, right? It looks like a combination of the blunder icon and the brilliant icon. So the only thing we got to look for here is, you know, Maine is probably going to go the other way, which at the beginning it almost wasn't looking like that, or you still got a long way to go with it. Yeah, if you do the simple mathematics here, who won Nevada? It was Democrats. So even if you assume that, you have very important couple states here, Arizona. See, this is where the rig stuff potentially comes in, though. It's like, this is so tight that if some little thing is done, right, that could make the whole difference. And the same thing with a couple of these, like, you know, this is all you would need to adjust if you were going for something. Georgia should already be fucking done, too, by the way. This is gonna piss so many people off. That's what people always find so funny too. It's like in 2016 where people are getting so mad and salty about it, like little babies who don't get their way. Yeah, this 81 million thing was so fucking aberrant that is just unbelievable. Right, like it's just, I don't know. I can't blame people for having their doubts about it. And so even me being objective and in practice, I could care less even who wins. But when something just feels sort of unnatural, right, that's where a lot of the support even comes from. They just feel like something isn't right. That everything is so extreme and biased in one direction. I think we have one more RTUs here potentially. This is 50%. This is 90%. This is 76%. Some of these just sort of stop. They just get stuck. Now we got to make the necessary adjustments. We got to, make sure we get the curated outcome as approved by the corporate-owned media. Like, come on, dude. Why does it suddenly just do that? But no, I like how quickly some of these states did resolve it at the beginning here. Like, some of them were done very quickly. Some of them have a pattern of being very slow. Pennsylvania, cough, cough. Number 1 is just a total fucking clown show. Let's see. We'll go with the last art here, which you'll find is actually completely identical to the last one I was just using. We just lost like 5 games in a row, and I'm not even like paying attention because I'm distracted by whatever, but it's okay. So that was the one after the Pegasus one, I feel like. DGT, Pegasus, Euro, Chad, Forest Green Board, Freedom. That's very fitting for, the Electoral College here. Maple Board, Game Room Pieces. Okay, let's try to go on a good win streak with this one as we look for the final results here. 187. And so what did she just win there? It doesn't even show you like the most recent. Like what the most recent thing is. I don't even see what the difference is. We go here. Don't want to let him pin it down. Alaska and Hawaii. It's gonna come down to some shitty little dinky state like that. You should know Alaska's gonna be Republican, because if fucking Sarah Palin can win, then anybody can win. I gotta see that movie one day. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like, what's her name? The chick who plays like, who replaced Jodie Foster as Clarice in Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, whatever, part 2 and stuff. What is her name? She's such a good actress. She was in a lot of the Paul Thomas Anderson movies, Boogie Nights, Magnolia. The fuck? I can't remember. Well, whatever. She plays Sarah Palin, and I couldn't even tell it was her. I saw like a clip of it. Nevada is just asleep, and they don't even care. They're just in their own world. Like, they're not even interested in doing this shit. 12 a.m. tomorrow. 1 a.m. I'm not going to stay up all night, dude. I just want to see some sort of... Whoops. I just want to see some sort of payoff here. By all appearances, it seems pretty clear what the outcome is going to be. But there's going to be some weird shit. And so whenever there's weird shit, too, this is what makes people suspicious. It's always in one direction, right? Like, oh, it never benefits him. Like, oh, there's some weird Google search type bug or issue, right, that prevents you from finding something for him. I don't know. It would be a real aberration moment that something here you wouldn't need that much. And even according to this, it would have to go exactly that way, that all these kind of fall in line. Right, that is exactly what you'd have. Well, I guess you wouldn't have to win in exactly the same manner, but you go back to there and you give up not a mate, but pretty close to a mate, I guess. This is pretty surprising that you would do that. So 230, 187. Yeah, but that's almost, she'd have to win like all of those. Georgia just doesn't seem like it's going to happen for you. Why is this not considered? It's kind of close, but for a lot of these other ones, they would have already called it at 91%. They can call California at fucking 0%. Can be all cute here if I really want. I can be like this. I can just take the queen first of all, but I could even do this shit here. Could I not? Like, that's insane. Isn't that nuts? That might seem even a little greedy still. They'll go there, and then there'll be some problem with this that maybe I'll end up losing because of it. I wouldn't mind just going for the kill here. Take this, take this. That's actually an unfavorable trade, but I'm up by so much that it's fine. I don't think you really have to keep reloading like this, but I just feel like doing it. The 51 versus... We finally get to change my stupid ass board, and I actually did fall below 16, which is really shameful. So I'm not too happy about that. And we're on the final piece of art, so I could just go until I lose, and look how unlikely it would be, dude. This is where people have questions. Some of these states, man, they has a pattern. 91, 70. Like, why does it just suddenly stop, bro? This has been stopped there. Everything is stopped. Stop the steal. As he would have said last time. It's just one of those moments that just seems so weird. Everything's going smoothly, you know, at a regular pace, regardless of whatever outcomes. And then all of a sudden it gets like this. So you could try to go there, try to go here, stop the pin. That one's been at 50% for a while. These have been sort of stuck in place. So now they're all going to coordinate to stop because, oh no, if he wins these, he'll win, and they can't allow that. Like, it just gives you that impression, honestly. They've been sitting there. It's just frozen. You know, because these become much more consequential now as the time sort of dwindles down, or, you know, the window kind of closes. So these were some of the same ones that took a long time, I think, the last time. Right, it seemed like he was going to win Michigan, then he didn't. Seemed like he was going to win Pennsylvania, then he didn't. This would be the way you could dictate sort of an outcome, in the sense that a lot of the states are a foregone conclusion anyway, right? The ones that are these swing states or make the little middle of the ground difference, these are the ones that determine the outcome here. And so, you know, this would be what you'd manipulate if you were going to do it. See that one jumped all of a sudden. Here it comes, dude. I'm sensing something. Right, then now they're gonna get sudden bumps in 300,000 or something. You could go here. So that one suddenly changed. A lot of these are just stuck and frozen in place. Even that one, which makes no sense at all because that should have been done a while ago. You have maybe this one. This does make it pretty hard to concentrate somehow. Like I can't really, not that I'm using that as an excuse, but if I took there, okay, this is gonna be a bad news. The problem with this is if only I could attack that again, it would be pretty good. Some of these people are so good sometimes. They would take, I would take, they would take, I would take, they would still take. Plus, too, sometimes with these arts and everything, you can't even see that shit. Like whether you're up or down material. This is the moment that you would dread. Like all of a sudden, these are all gonna flip the other way. Like this is good. This is why it's good to have it on video too. Like you're 67%. You're up by a little decent amount. You're up a little bit here. You're up a good amount here, and a very significant 77% reporting. You're up even here in a way that is good. So I mean, you could pretty much call it there. But okay, this will be a little bit scary, I guess. You could just go there and then you're guaranteed to do something else. You can unleash this wherever you want, but you can't really unleash to attack the rook anymore at this point. So you can go here and almost cover up the... What? This guy is so sure of himself and so fast all the time. Okay, bro, everything slows down just in time. 68, 37. Like, this is the moment where you gotta put some scrutiny. Like, what are you waiting for? Why are these final ones that could determine the outcome suddenly slow and suddenly out of place? Uh... All you would have needed to do is somehow hit this, take. You're gonna hit this there, which is gonna be a problem. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm so fucking not paying attention today. Not that I've been playing well in the last several sessions anyway. Minimalist chest workout. Minimalist workout for all around strength. Chest workout puzzle. Yeah, fuck puzzles. Game of 10 plus 0, 20 minutes. But that's not really a workout. That's just an actual game. Review for 15 minutes. You want to review for almost as long as you actually play the fucking game itself. So this is the moment in time that is so fucking predictable that whatever, bro. Okay, see you tomorrow. We're gonna miss the 3 a.m. ballot harvesting from fucking Pennsylvania.